So Mark__Datter. If you want to find my boy Zach, you can find him on Twitter at Norien de Iridius, or NORIEN_DE_IRIDIUS. Find our group Twitter to get a hold of all of us. You can go on to productions_AOE. So let's get diving into the game. Last session, our party started off by cleaning up after a victory against the evil sea hag Agatha. They had found the location in her lair of another hag, a mysterious green hag named Reichma. Through a stroke of pure luck on the way down, they encountered a very interesting individual, a person with a large turban and a huge red ruby and a large feather going up from it. They couldn't really pin down a gender on this individual, and they had a very smooth voice. The name was Udatov. He was a traveling salesman. He gave them wares for their kind appearance towards them. He even donated a large, almost rusty-looking mace/maul to our friend Nova. After meeting with him, exchanging many goods, they continued their journey on down and found themselves in a weird situation. There was desert around them before, but as they continued south, they kind of ended up in almost savanna-like wheat fields. Pretty unnatural seeming, and as they approached, they noticed scarecrows standing off in the distance. They found what they imagined would be the path to make their way to Reichma's lair based on the map that they had found before. And so they went, and they caught an interesting scent that these scarecrows might not be all that meets the eye. So, using their thinking brain, they cast Pass Without a Trace, snuck up to Reichma's lair through some very successful stealth checks against some very non-perceptive hay sacks. They found Reichma prepared. She launched a devastating onslaught against them, using her lair trickery and her ultra-strong cunning claws. She hacked and slashed her way to death as the party slowly tore her down. We find them now in the aftermath, sitting and taking a breather, as much of one as they might need. Kind of pulling through the wreckage. There was bodies and bubbling cauldrons and alembics and a small bookshelf and a bed with a skeleton in it. So yeah, we find the party now in Reichma's lair as the aftermath is kind of resolved. You guys have gathered your loot for the loot table roll, and the lair is yours to do with what you will.
Alderia, Kyla, I found this patchwork robe that I'm not particularly interested in wearing. Would either of you like it?
I could certainly take a look.
Sure.
You're both interested?
Sure.
Dungeon Master, may I tell them what it does, or?
Absolutely. You do know.
Okay. You message that to me.
If you want to just drop it into session recap or lore dump or any of that is fine too.
Yeah, we'll do. It's just kind of complicated.
Yeah.
All right, you guys can. We'll talk about it after you guys both get to read it.
So you guys see Erzan pulls out this kind of mottled gray, almost cape-looking robe accoutrement, and it's got these weird, like, really loosely sewn on patches of just all kinds of colors, you know, just all of them muted, though, like a muted seafoam green and a muted pink red and all kinds. In total, you'd guess probably above 20 patches on this, just at a glance. You gather that he collected this from our now late Reichma's stuff. you hear the evil snickers in the background. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. I can hear it in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. Whenever you get hungry, you seem to get a little evil.
Is Snickers
I
following
got it.
us?
I'll
You're not you when you're hungry, you know?
You're not you when you're hungry, Snickers. Where are you? Where are you?
I'm totally down to take that.
As well.
She has
But,
disappeared.
you know.
Up to you guys.
2 whole rowboats. Oh my god.
It is quite the interesting item.
Does anybody have a set of dice on them, perchance?
I do not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I'm
same
not
here. But... I was thinking we could roll for it to flip a coin. The chance
Seems
to
fair
say.
to me.
Ozan, since you were the one who found it, why don't you flip the coin? I'll take tails.
Sure. I will roll a d4.
Go ahead and roll a d4
odds
and
are-
odds are.
Odds are tails and evens are heads.
So on evens.
Correct. Well, it's not going to work. It was a 4. Alderia gets the robe. Now you have to remember all the patches on it.
True.
Just for the very basic reminder, just because there's a lot of text on there. It takes an action to rip off a patch. If it is an item, you go ahead and it appears in your hand or right in front of you if it's too large to appear in your hand. Otherwise, if it's a creature of some kind or another effect, you'd have to, use it. So
So
like
the
you can't
rowboat
go
appears in
and
my
then be at the
hand.
top of the ladder, right?
It's got 2 whole rowboats in there.
So the rowboat, I could rip them both off and hold 2 rowboats.
I was wondering,
Like
do
that.
these,
Probably crush your hands, but yes.
Rowboats?
do these patch effects dissipate after time, or are they just permanent rowboats? Don't know.
Fuck around and find out.
Well, I mean, like, am I gonna drown if I try to? I mean, I won't drown because I can swim now. But
But will your weak,
Well, that makes
pathetic
one of us.
party members die? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I'm
these
just kidding.
people who don't.
Why do you have to call me out by name? 9
Hey.
strength.
DPS, bro.
Someone's feeling attacked.
They.
Feeling personal.
I'll say this much. Once you attune to the item, you see the effects. As far as you can tell, it seems to create that object from the patch. So it doesn't seem to be like a magic that would dissipate so much as a conjuration of said item or creature or thing.
I would assume, like, if a 25-foot ladder appears,
Staying
it's just
there.
gonna be a 25-foot
It's going to be a
ladder.
25-foot ladder, you'd guess.
Yeah, not only are there 2 rowboats, there's 2 25-foot ladders.
And 2 windows.
There's 2 windows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can
Yeah, it's
slap it
windows.
on a wall and make a window.
Probably the best item on there.
Yeah.
You're pretty good.
Oh, there's doggos!
I would like to investigate the rest of Reshma's lair for anything noteworthy or interesting.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything while Erzan takes the lead
I'll
and
join
starts
Erzan.
taking through?
Carlo, is your investigation better than negative?
It is, actually.
Then I'm going to, instead of investigating, cast guidance on him,
Okay,
and he can do the investigating.
for sure. Is anyone else? I would say if you can help him in any other way, you're welcome to. If you
Yeah,
can
I
think
can
of a good
also-
way to do it.
I can also look around.
I'll say you're maintaining the guidance as he's kind of
Okay.
going through, But if anyone else wants to help,
Nobody
they
want to
can.
give me a hand?
Yeah, I can give you a hand.
I'll say go ahead and roll with advantage plus the d4 as you are designated as kind of the leader here. Nova kind of will.
Oh,
pointing
it's a
out,
good
"Eh,
thing there
don't-
was advantage on it. The first roll was a 2,
Woo.
but the next roll was a 19 with the D4, so
19 total.
19 total.
So with that, you find a few things. First of all, you find a rolled up scroll. Doesn't seem to be arcane in nature, probably contains something. You find, let's see, one moment please. You find a small hand leather bound journal, just of kind of like a matted brown.
You find a Snickers.
Find an
I'm
evil
hungry.
cat. Oh, trust me, she's not hungry. She's only one of 2 bowls through food today.
Poor Snickers.
You find a small, familiar-looking device, actually. Looks like an astrolabe, as described by Alderia.
Is it like well made? Is it can I tell like
Yeah, when you take a look at it, it's kind of those full circles, creating like a almost
yeah,
sphere
like almost like a globe?
moves.
Like this.
Shh. Yeah.
I haven't
This
actually
one-
seen one.
This one looks worn down with time. There's blood stains on it as well. But the rest of it seems to be a simple iron astrolabe, and it kind of, as you move it, at first it resists a little bit, but as the kind of wear and tear goes away, it moves back to its kind of normal.
You'll have to teach me how to use it, Alderia.
Sure thing.
Let's see. Anything else you guys would find in there? With the 19, you find an alchemist's toolkit as well.
I hand that immediately to Alderia.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
I know you were looking at that pamphlet.
Honey, I am so sorry. I'm going to ignore you for at least 2 hours. Okay, bye. Don't feel bad for her. She groomed me from 4 a.m. till 9 a.m. today.
Oh my god.
Stayed there
she
in
is
bed,
such a
like,
sweet girl.
super
Do you have like
nicest hags cat I've ever met.
do you have a raw patch on your skin now? Or?
Her tongue is the roughest cat tongue I've ever been licked by. But anyways, and you do note that there is a potion brewing currently. You see kind of a long tube that is dripping slowly into a vial. You imagine, with given enough time, it could perhaps produce some kind of tonic that you might be interested in.
Do you want to take a look at that, Alderia? Maybe you can figure out what's going into it.
Maybe. Do
You-
I
you
know
have-
enough?
You'd have more knowledge than the rest of us, I'm sure.
I would say
Probably.
you are a fledgling. You are learning to learn. But if you want to make a nature check, I would certainly allow it.
While Alderia kind of takes her time looking at that, I'm gonna like open the scroll and flip through the journal really quick, see what I can figure out.
Point of order too. If you wanted to do, if you're proficient in Arcana, I would allow that too. Up to you what you want to roll.
I'm not. So 19.
19.
'Cause I'm proficient in nature.
You have trouble discerning a specific type, but you are certain this is a poison of some kind. Something that, when ingested or coated, perhaps it would turn into some kind of deadly accoutrement.
Okay,
for-
guys, don't
take-
drink this.
I can't say I was planning on it.
If you get thirsty out in the desert, I've heard the cactus water is the
It's quenchiest.
quenchiest. Yeah.
Indeed.
That's facts. This is deep lore.
I guess
No,
yeah. As long as we're taking time to just sort of hang out here, I'm assuming it's going to take at least an hour.
You would guess for the potion?
No, well, just I mean, is
Just
that
looking around and everything.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
would,
that's about an hour, yeah.
okay? After I'm done helping poke around a little bit, if I could take a moment to bond with the maul instead of one of my swords.
Sure thing.
I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah. Can I put the robe on?
Yeah, you take about 20 minutes of just kind of wearing it and kind of milling about, doing light activity, and you attune to it. As well as the maul, you cast that familiar ritual over it, and you see the sheen of magic kind of go across it, and with an attempt to draw it to your hand, it flies readily, as did your glaive.
Dope.
For you, Kylar,
Yeah.
when you pull open the scroll, you see a very simple 3-word riddle. Not so much of a riddle, because you guys have done some stuff. Probably make this pretty obvious, but you know what? That's great. So it does read, atop a dune, her cruel look of doom, overlooking a maze, lies her evil gaze. Fate lies here. Approach only in fear. And that's all you get from the scroll.
Can you post that
and-
in Lore Dump as well?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
I'd appreciate that.
Lore dump. It goes.
I gotta figure out where to put this.
I hate that it has you add a comment because it like pulls up like a picture when you screen cap. It's weird. Not screen cap, but control paste. And then for the book, you gather just a little bit of personal kind of writings are in there, but the main thing you pull out is that Reshma was tracing a small dragon of some kind to the north, which is what drew her here. She was attempting to capture its soul as an offering for the Night Mother.
Ew.
She thought it would make a fine gift for her.
The soul of a what?
Of a dragon.
Small dragon.
Small dragon.
Are you
Notably-
talking about this out loud? Because
I love dragons.
Sorry, one
I
more
would
point.
probably mention the riddle out loud, like reading it to myself.
Point of order too. She noted that she lost it to the east of the desert in the Savarantine forest.
And I wouldn't really talk about the journal until I'd read it all.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you guys,
And I'd also spend time looking at that potion I got.
okay. Are you proficient in Arcana?
I am.
Okay. Go ahead if you'd like to examine it. I'd allow an Arcana check as you kind of peel over it and try and determine its natural magics.
21.
21. That is enough, I would say. You gather that. So first, you start by looking at it and kind of peeling over, noticing the orange flecks. You're kind of, little perturbed almost. Like, what could this possibly be? But it occurs to you that the mixes of magic, the way it shines in the light, you're guessing this is a potion of water breathing.
That's extremely helpful.
Okay.
Cool.
So you guys find yourselves now in the aftermath, kind of peeled through.
I have a
What would you like?
question.
Yes.
These patches.
Mhm.
So, like the mastiffs,
Mhm.
if I were to tear it off, would they be on our side?
That is a good question. I don't know that you know, honestly. Let me double check. Let me double check the item real quick
Okay.
before I give you a true answer.
Can I search the hag herself?
Most of what you guys have gotten is from her possession, but if you'd like to kind of
Fair enough.
peel around and see if there's anything you've missed, I'd allow an investigation check.
I mean, I'm not above confiscating a coin purse from a unlawful individual.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an
Gotta
investigation.
get that money.
I rolled a 10 minus 1 for a whole 9.
9. Yeah, there's nothing in particular that's really sticking out on this creature. Let me Google something, and by Google something I mean pull open my monster manual.
He's got the
Fancy.
real Google.
Got Google, but at my fingertips.
It's the googliest.
Wow.
It's not under M's. Okay, so you're probably in a state.
The dragon she lost to the east, right, guys?
Yeah, I believe that's
east
what
in the
he
Savarantine forest. Savarantine forest. Ugh.
Does the journal have any defining characteristics of this dragon? Like, can we ascertain color or breath weapon?
Not noted in the journal, no.
Okay, thanks.
Just for simplicity's sake, yes, the mastiffs would be on your side.
Okay.
Yeah, the dragon is pretty generically described as just a young dragon that she was pursuing.
Did that forest have a name?
The Savarantine, Savareen. No, sorry. Put a T before the EEN. Savarantine forest. Pretty well known forest. It skirts the northeastern border of the desert, and then proceeds deeper into the nation of Davros.
And did we... Hold on, I actually want to check my notes.
Mhm.
Because we were looking for the Night Mother next, correct?
do whatever
One of
we
the
want, Nova.
potential avenues.
Hmm?
We've got like 3 different things we could do potentially at this point.
Well, I'm thinking either way, no matter what we do, we need to get more supplies. I think
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little low on rations.
Me too.
I'd rather not have to resort to cactus juice. Again.
That would be preferable.
You guys do
Yes.
notice there is a small pool of water in here. It's
Smell like seawater?
doesn't smell like seawater. Upon examination, there's a pile of corpses near it, but you know,
How deep is it?
as you kind of investigate around, you see that it ends about knee height. It's pretty murky, but maybe with some boiling, it would be all right. You imagine? Just with some basic
Adelia, can you tell if it's foul?
I was just gonna say, can I use augury to tell if we boiled and drank this, what would happen?
Yeah, sure. Just as this is a bit of a more simple request, and given the understanding that the boiling is done properly, you get the flashes of star symbols before you, and you hear, "We."
Well, all right. We'll just have to boil this real good.
But you imagine it.
Extra,
How far?
extra
How
boil.
far across is the pool?
Probably about 12 feet across.
I'm going to walk across it and see if I notice anything at my feet.
Anything at your feet? Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Another one.
A novel one.
13.
Nothing really picks up any kind of attraction to your sensitive feet. You kind of walk around, kick a rock or two out of the way, but doesn't seem to be like a big chest to jump into or anything like that.
What can swim?
You're guessing this is probably an upwelling from somewhere.
Sure.
Kind of seems like there's a little gentle motion, and as you investigate further, there's like probably like a quarter-sized crack in the wall, kind of down below the surface. So
Can I go swim around in there?
it's only knee height at the deepest, so like you could kind of lay down and
Splash
like
a bit.
crocodile walk around maybe kind of thing.
I was
But
just excited to get into wild shape into something that swims.
like you can definitely if you wild shape into a fish, you would certainly fit in there.
All right, I'm gonna do it for fun. I'm gonna wild shape into a fish and go.
Sure. Yeah, you go for a little swim. The first thing you notice against your gills is the acrid smell. I don't know. Whatever fish do with their gills.
Taste?
Taste?
Illness.
It's
Gill?
gross. Maybe they don't care. I don't
Gill
know.
Gill feel.
It's called
Fumes?
gill feel.
It's like fumes.
Fumes, yeah. You get some gross fumes, and your heightened fish sense. You kind of follow some traces, and leads back to an arm or a leg here or there, and it's pretty gross down there.
Ew.
But it's water, and you're feeling pretty free, wiggling about. It's a good place to be.
All right.
It is cold, and as you wild shape out of fish, reporting the debris, you are feeling a little chilled, but nothing to worry about. I'm sure the
Well, in
Just-
that case, I'll just produce some flame. Just
there you go.
shiver.
It's not too bad, but you pull the flame out and you dry yourself off pretty quick. Takes a few minutes. A little
Point of
warm.
order. What time of day is it?
It's late afternoon into the evening now, so the sun is still up, but it's probably going to get cold eventually in the next few hours here.
Maybe we should stick camp for the night here.
Yeah. Lock
Do
the
you
door.
think perhaps we should deal with this scarecrows outside, or at least go and see if they've been disenchanted since we killed their master?
Well, I'd be okay with like at least a short resting.
I mean,
Seeing-
I'd rather not deal with them right now.
Seeing as
Truth be
my I'm limited.
Fair enough.
You guys would like to take a short rest then?
Short rest or long rest? Do we want to just like camp here?
I'll say
I'll
as
start
a
in the
point of
morning.
order too. You guys have only been doing light activity. I'd give you the short rest for free. Luke had at the very least enough time. We'll say after an hour and a half of like investigating and resting, you guys kind of take shifts and do that kind of thing. And it's probably, you'd guess, in the realm of about 7:30 at this point.
I'd like to
Maybe.
go poke my head out the door and see if I can see any of the scarecrows.
Sure.
Stealthily.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check and a stealth check.
The perception was a 13 and the stealth was an 11.
Okay. You don't seem to attract the attention of any of these creatures as you look out. Interestingly enough, with your perception, you notice they are standing still, and at first you're like, "Oh, good," and then you see one of them start teetering a little bit, just kind of randomly, not really going towards you. Seems that they're still somehow animate.
Okay, I'll pull my head back in and tell that to my party.
The scarecrows are still about.
Apparently, they're still animated.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm thinking it might be mighty irresponsible of us to just leave those sort of dangerous critters
Right.
roaming the
I
desert.
imagine maybe we should destroy them because they could hurt people, and then take a long rest for the night and set off back towards Voltine in the morning.
How many did you see?
There's 4, right?
Let me pull up the battle map to double check that number.
I was hoping just to leave them, to be honest.
I hope I didn't delete it already.
We have
'cause
to
you
we have to sneak past them again, which was already a feat unto itself.
Well, with Aldaria's help, we actually managed it quite easily, I feel.
Of course, Roll20 is slowing me down. Just one moment, please. I believe it was 4. Let me double check.
Either way, these creatures are just being left in the field here to potentially hurt people. It doesn't feel right to me to just let them sit.
It's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, I get where you are coming from, Kylar, but you know, I worry about another group coming along that's not quite as battle ready as we are.
What if a family walks by on the road?
I feel like nobody's going to actually take any ill will from them unless they try and poke around Rachma's hut. But if you insist that we need to clear them out, I suppose I can tag along.
As long as there's not like a lot. If it's gonna be like us against 20.
Go ahead and roll me, Erzan. You looked. Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
I am proficient. Thank God. 22.
22. You saw 4 moving and 3 still. You are guessing the still ones are either commanded to wait until a more opportune time to move because they seem to have been still since you've seen them at first, or they are not animated, perhaps just distractions to help things blend in.
Let's see.
Whereas the other ones are more stopping and then patrolling and then stopping and then patrolling.
Okay, I'll relay that as well.
I think we can take them.
It's just 4 scarecrows. Hopefully they're not. I mean, they're just made out of wood, even if they're animated.
We short rested, right?
Yeah, you got to take a short rest.
If you insist.
I also figure that will be a safer situation to sleep for the night as well, right? Less likely to get barged in upon by some animated
That's
scarecrows.
true.
Some weird wooden boy, just wandering upon you.
Weird wooden boy. Like Pinocchio.
Nova, you've really been through it.
I've tussled a time or two in my day.
You've seen all the wooden boys.
These wooden boys bring all the other boys to the yard.
Oh, God. So anyway, the scarecrows.
So you guys would like to
Them boys.
scarecrows?
The scarecrows.
Yeah, let's make a
Against
plan.
my better judgment.
Very well. You navigate out of Rashna's lair.
Wait, can we make a plan first?
Sure.
As Eldiria suggested.
Yes, you may, of course.
Should we sneak up on them?
Probably.
Or are you willing to commit a spell to that?
Well,
Because I don't think Nova and I are naturally very sneaky.
well, it will be my last second level spell slot. But
I don't know what those words mean, but
if we
I don't
want,
either.
if we want to get close before we attack,
I actually prefer to stay back.
I can't read. I think
I can't read.
I can't read the thing. There's a cord in the way. Right. Yeah. If we want to sneak up, I can make us sneaky.
Don't.
Does anyone have any other plan other than sneak up? Are they all pretty close to each other?
Urzan, with his roles, I would say, can describe that they are in a relative closeness with one another. It's hard to describe exactly.
They're
how-
not all out like in a 20
not
acre field.
the ones. These are the ones that are present. You imagine if you went deeper into this area, you'd find quite a few scarecrows. These are the ones that are nearby Rashma's lair.
Right. Okay.
you know what I'm thinking? Since what Urzan was saying about there's ones that are sitting still, maybe we go out there and try to make some noise, pull them away from the ones that are sitting still, just in case it's like a proximity sort of situation.
Sure, that seems wise to me. Perhaps they're like they've been commanded to wait until something enters a certain radius around them.
It's the smartest thing I think I've ever heard you say, Nova.
Thank you? Maybe?
It was pretty damn smart.
If there's one thing I know, it's fighting.
I know the stars.
All right, Nova, shall we go get their attention?
Yeah, why don't we just sort of beeline it from the cave towards them and just maybe leave like a, what are you guys thinking, like a 30-40 foot buffer?
Yeah.
Make some noise, slam into action, boom bang pow.
Just like that.
Is that what you guys would like to do?
Like so.
Yes,
Against my better judgment again.
we know
He's a team
Kylar.
player.
I don't think this is a good idea, and it needs to be on the record. Because I will hold
I
it
think
against
that you have
you.
the same thing going on, that we've played Divinity and the fiery scarecrows that are scary.
I don't want to talk about that.
Just quick save before you go in.
We just gotta reroll it from the auto save right before.
God, I'd like to quick save.
All right, go ahead and roll me a bullshit check.
Who?
This is not Urzan making this
Do it
check.
for the quick save.
Do it for the quick
I rolled a
save.
17.
You failed a quick save check.
Shit.
I'm
Touche.
sorry.
Just out of curiosity, what did he have to get?
Probably a natural 20, and then I
Okay.
don't know, take a scarecrow out or something. I don't even know.
Shall I switch over to the roll 20 scene?
If you guys would like to execute your plan, you are very welcome.
I think we should.
I'm gonna draw my new, not fancy, my new rusted maul out.
Oh,
on the
it's
way.
fancy
Oh god.
and fancy. You see, again, just as a point of order, you see these super intricately looking. At first, it just looks like rope knots, but upon inspection, if you look at the bottom, you see a hair tie on these knots, and you are imagining it's some kind of beard, and just woven down the whole handle, creating this exquisite hand grip. Very peculiar. You've never seen anything like it. But it just has seen a lot of age. You're guessing as well. But it is a pretty cool looking.
Hey, Thaddeus. You should zoom out.
Thanks.
So we do have the Roll20 screen pulled up. You guys, I think, should have access to your characters. Because your DM learned
Yeah, I was able to change mine.
a little better. This is kind of so. At your back here is the lair.
Sure.
Oh, so we didn't really have any room moving through there.
There's as if you note carefully, there's about enough space for in between each row for one character to kind of go through. The tall grass would be considered rough terrain.
Can we see through the rough terrain?
Yeah. It's the main thing you notice is you're kind of now stepping outside. First, everybody roll me a stealth check. See if you guys can maintain your plan as you step
Did you
out.
cast
Did-
without a
did-
trace, Eldaria?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So everybody roll with that plus 10.
Whew. Thank God.
And remember, if you're wearing heavy armor, please roll with disadvantage.
26.
1 second before you get those to me. Okay. Erzan.
26.
Kyler.
23.
Aldaria.
16.
Nova.
18.
You guys, as you step outside, you kind of look around. You see the shifting scarecrow from here to there, but you not seem to alarm any of them.
Is our game master quiet for anyone else?
A little bit, not much, but during that riddle, I couldn't hardly hear him.
Check 1, 2. Check. I can move you guys a little closer. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just
Let's
were
move you
distant from the mic.
guys a couple 6-7 inches closer. Hopefully that'll do the trick. Just apologies. But yeah, this is the scene you guys see. You don't seem to have alarmed anybody. Are you guys going to
Alright.
attempt to enact your plan?
Which ones are the not hatted ones? Are the not moving ones?
You would guess, based on Erzan's description, is the not hatted ones have been sitting still.
Cool. Nova, shall I take this left lane and you take the right and we sneak up about halfway? And the casters can stay back?
I'm gonna go jungle.
Come on.
Sorry, couldn't help it.
Going ghost.
So you're gonna go.
Oh, that's a League reference. It took me a minute to figure that
Oh.
out.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I'll go up here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
stay right
Yeah.
the hell where I am.
And then Erzan's going to go down.
Yeah, I'll go right here.
I will say, for the purposes of this, you guys won't be entering combat yet, but go ahead and have everybody roll me initiative, please.
Okay.
Come on, double digits.
Oh,
Natural 20, so 22.
Wow.
Bad.
Natural 20 on initiative. Worst roll.
Meow, 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 meow.
At least you got it somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think I've got one yet.
Okay, 20 to 25.
22.
15 to 20.
16.
16 for Aldaria.
I don't know why I raised my hand.
16.
I appreciate the effort.
Pretty distinct voice in this group.
10 to 15.
11.
Okay. So. Five to 10.
8.
8. What's your dexterity modifier?
+2.
+2. Okay. Kylar. All right. Erzan, you're at the top of our initiative order. What would you like to do?
I'm going to move my guy to where I was, or where I wanted to be. Do these tall blades of grass offer sight obstruction?
A little bit, yeah. It would be
Enough
probably
to be considered cover, or no?
not cover, no.
Got it. Very well, then from my stealthy position here, I would like to cast a guiding bolt at this fella.
Just as a point of order, this bottom corner right here is, you know what, we'll call that clear. That's fine. 5, 10, 15, 5, 30. Okay. You're casting a guiding bolt at this guy?
Yeah.
As a point of order, that would alert the creatures to your presence.
Yep. It'll
Would
also
you
be a
like-
sneak attack, right?
Yeah, it would. Would you like to hold your action until specific time with which it might be more opportune.
Yeah, should we all shoot off
I suppose,
at
yeah.
once?
I'll hold my action till everybody else is alerted.
Okay, everybody else is ready.
Yep.
Okay. We'll say. You'll shoot it as the first person makes their attack. Sure, it'll be your held. Alderia, it's your round. Your turn.
I'm gonna hold my action until somebody shoots, but when they do, I'm going to produce flame and shoot it.
Okay, you got it.
Try to see how far I can do this. Oh my god, everything's so far. At this guy.
At the bottom one there. Okay.
Mhm.
So you'll cast your produce flame through there. All right. The creatures unaware of your presence are going to act as they would. This one moves there. This one turns around. This one moves there. This one down here seems not to move yet. Nova.
I'm going to move a little.
Just careful once Alderia's radius is 30 feet, so you should, if you want to maintain that stealth, you'll have to be within her range there.
Am I out of it where I'm at?
Or just at the cusp of it there.
Oh, that's as far as I wanted to go.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else you'd like to do this turn?
I am going to hold Witch Bolt.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Actually, I think I need to hold on. Let me check my. I'm gonna have to drop. Which accent do I have? I'm gonna have to drop my maul first. So as a free action, I'll set it down.
Sure. I'll say just as a point of order too. You know what? You like dropping your maul. I won't say that.
It's cool. It's flavor, man.
It's really, really cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna drop that. Prep up that Witch Bolt.
Oh yeah, just as a point of order, go ahead and mark the spell slot off. As you do, and then same thing for you as well, Erinn.
I already did, thanks.
Perfect. Just making sure.
Yep.
Spell slots.
And then I'm
Sure.
gonna whisper back to Kylar, light this candle.
Ooh.
As
That
your
I
turn,
can do.
Tyler, you hear at this candle. Whisper gently across your ears. What would you like to do?
I'm going to hold my hand out,
Yep.
and this boy here and this boy here are both within 60 feet of me. I'm going to burn a sorcery point to twin spell Ray of Frost and light them the hell up.
There you go. Okay. As you look back, Erinn and Kylar starts prepping a spell. You go to release. Everybody, go ahead and release your attacks,
Intelligence.
your held actions. They will all have advantage because you are all stealth currently. The only
okay,
exception,
thank you.
Erinn, you are within firing range, so yours is a straight roll.
Oh, gotcha. I rolled a 15.
15 against the dude right next to you will hit.
Nice.
Damage.
$13 radiant damage, and the next
Radiant?
attack. Yep. The next attack made against it will have advantage. Unless I turn.
Wow. Unnecessary as this creature, you fire off the radiant bolt. The music died. We'll get it after this description. You fire off the radiant bolt right in its chest.
What kind of radiant bolt?
You see the very familiar hieroglyph, almost like rune cast, as the spear edges its way out, flies into the creature. From that spot, you see radiant, almost fire-like energy atomize this creature. As you do, you see its eyes light with fire angrily as it drifts away into ash. With that description being done, though, I'm going to get our music back alive because what the heck, man.
Yes, the music.
You just unalived him real hard.
Yeah, Radiant seems to be pretty good.
Oh.
Demons.
What the heck? Sorry about this, guys. It's not you. Oh. There we go. Just get the basic music rolling again. Should be plenty. Okay. So yeah, you fire that guiding bolt spear through its body, and it kind of atomizes in a very familiar manner. Aldaria, your held action was next, as you see Kyler preparing 2 frosty runes, one in
Roll
each hand.
17 to hit.
17. Go ahead and roll damage. That's against the one down south here.
Yeah. This
Okay.
Feller.
Feller.
7 damages.
7. What type of damage is it?
5-5.
Five.
I figured 5-5 would be good against scarecrows.
5-5.
It's sunburn damage.
5-5
I
really
used
good
my-
at scarecrows. You
I
see.
used all my folds. They're all active.
You see the familiar produce flame in your hands. Pull it, cast it almost like a little plummeting candle flying towards this creature. It erupts in the center of it again. You see that same thing Erinn did. Angrily looks towards you as large, like weird, almost bone-like claws protrude from its hands. Its eyes catch a gentle fire, but the hay, once it realizes hay is caught on fire, it's trying to pat itself out, and it bursts into flame. Very easily done. It is killed. That brings us to Nova's held action.
Right. So the range on this isn't what I thought it was. So I'm gonna have to go with this boy right here.
Sure thing.
That's a 19 to hit him.
19 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage. And there is that.
This is
Of course,
some
it's a
fun music.
D12. The only dice I don't have out.
Sorry, buddy. Welcome to Witchbolt.
Most useless dice in D&D.
Unless you're a barbarian or a
Witchbolt.
really, really big Witchbolt caster.
Yeah.
Even then, sometimes.
That is gonna be 7
7 points. Okay.
lightning damage there.
That's to that one.
Mystical witchy lightning.
You you kind of pull out this like orb of electric energy, and this lightning kind of tethers you to it. This pulse of energy as the creature pulls out these large claws. This time, surviving the shot as fire starts drifting up from its eyes, and it looks straight towards you. And then Kyler, as you take your attack action, you pull out the 2 runes, seeing 2 targets. Release them. What are your rolls to hit?
Well, one target's dead, so that one
Fair.
just hits
I'll
it.
say, for the sake of ease, if you'd like to roll another attack at...
None of them are within range.
Oh, the other one's not within range.
Yeah, it's 60 feet. The only one that's in range is Top Boy that just got hit.
All right. I'll
So
go...
The other one's just going to hit the ground.
Sounds good. You'll still have advantage on this
yeah,
one
and
here.
that one was a 21 to hit.
21 to hit definitely hits. Go ahead and roll her up.
I was gonna go for Farboy.
That's all right.
This didn't quite work out that way, sadly.
It's 5 points of cold damage, and
5
his
points.
speed's reduced by 10 feet if he survives.
Well, I must admit, that was precisely the amount of damage you needed to wax this one as well.
I'm the finisher, man.
Clean
Clean up crew Kylar.
You get your ray of frost on, and it kind of freezes into a block and shatters. You guys, with some very superior planning, have left all but one creature whereabouts. It goes through Kyler's turn. It wasted its turn last turn to Erinn. You see one of these dudes waltzing about still, or dudettes, or
I can
whatever.
see him still, right?
Yeah, it's a little obscured, but nothing that would like get in the way of like a powerful radiant magic or anything.
Sure. I'll hold out my hand and summon a fiery sigil and cast firebolt and hurl a flaming dagger at him.
Summoning flaming dagger.
Yeah.
Similar effect this time around. You see that similar conjuration of holy magic as a dagger comes out of the portal, floats above your hand, rippling a flame up as it sits still, and then when you launch it, it drags behind it.
21 to hit.
21 definitely hits, and I'm guessing this is fire damage, so.
But I only rolled 1 damage.
Ah!
Good old D10.
Well, it gets a little better next level, right?
If you mean twice as good, yeah.
Hey, you might roll 4 damage next time. No, but you pull out the firebolt, kind of skim across one of its, like it's got a little, like overcoat on over the burlap sack, making it shirt, and it kind of catches flame there for one. And it's starting to turn around towards you. Alderia.
There's nothing near. I was hoping they'd be close there. I guess they don't move till after I go, huh?
You'd imagine so.
Yeah.
If you'd like to hold a cantrip or some kind of spell until one is within range, that is allowed as well. That is allowable.
Where's this range? Oh, shh. I
100
got
feet.
this.
About a little less than 100 feet.
I
to
forgot
the
about that feature.
crow
I'm gonna take my
horse.
To the old town road.
star map.
That's copyrighted. Don't do that. Your
Yeah.
star map is up.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
So this is start.
I'm gonna take my star map and cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Just fail it right.
Range on that is 120, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Roll her up. See what you get.
15.
15 definitely hits. Roll up them damn bridges.
Guiding Bolt.
She must roll the 10 glitches. That's 46.
That's so rude.
Yeah, it's such a great first level spell.
14.
14 damage. Yeah. Once again, you guys are feeling very over prepared for Raishma's lair. You summon up the star energy. It starts creating reflections pointing in towards it, and it shoots out this beam of energy, almost traveling slowly as it goes through the air, casting this magnificent starlight on this creature, kind of hitting it all at once. It's like you see this time as the starlight hits it, you see a little flare of dark, almost soot fly up into the air as this one. This one doesn't atomize, but it does perish. You see almost what looks like a dark, perhaps soul flying out of this creature. I'll
Alright.
trademark this from Soft.
Oh my God.
Ember restored.
As far as you guys know, though, no other creatures seem to be moving in your direct vicinity. This conflict as well.
Can I? How far would I have to be to check if that thing is? If only someone here could detect magic.
I can detect magic, but it's only in a 30-foot radius.
So you have to get 30 feet from it.
I'd rather just run up to it. I think we can probably kill these things pretty easily.
All right. Well,
Yeah, are we still in turn order?
If you guys would like to try and approach it in this way, you may. I'll say for simplicity's sake, upon investigating, you get within about 30 feet of the closest one to you, and it doesn't seem to do anything. So you step closer again. Doesn't seem to be moving. So
Oh,
all
I
right.
was gonna blast one of them.
sure, if you'd like to, you guys come up with a fairly similar discovery, unless you want to push it further.
I'll just shoot it with the
Yeah, I was just gonna ice knife
produce flame.
this boy.
Yeah. At any point when you do this, they don't seem to be moving.
All right.
So
Well,
These are
I set this one on
Yeah.
fire, so
sure.
whatever one is just gonna burn up.
Yeah, they'll all we'll say for the simplicity of it, you guys sunder them without them ever making moves towards you into this area. It does seem to be clear. because I don't want to switch layers. I'm not going to change it, the map, but we'll say for
Satisfied.
you destroy them.
Good job, guys.
Thank you for your help, Carla, even though you weren't too keen on the plan.
Yeah, well, when you pack quite of a wallop like that, apparently it wasn't too difficult.
What is this plant life that we're in?
Just kind of gently waving stalks of wheat, mostly. Not green, but, you know, I've got limited tools here without blowing my cash wad.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
someday, if this gets big enough, I am definitely going to invest in some of the tools that I have on here with the money that I make, because I'd like to reinvest that and turn this into a really cool battle map. Because
Some
I've
of those
enjoyed.
map tokens are really, really
dude.
good.
When I made this
Some of
encounter
them are animated.
2 weeks ago, the scarecrows that you could buy for $5. Oh, they were so cool! But
Probably
I
spent
just
like
can't
$50 in packs on Roll20
Yeah.
so far.
yeah, it's really cool. But I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna try and use the money if we make any off of ads on Twitch or something to reinvest into this. But for now, I gotta buckle down because pandemic times, baby. But I am really excited because I've actually really enjoyed making these maps, as basic as they are. I'm excited to try and slowly level up my game and get new
Right.
friends and all that cool stuff. So,
What time is it?
you guys, after this very brief encounter, you sunder these guys. I'll say again for the short version of this, unless you guys are gonna. Well, even if you do, you can go ahead and close down the Roll20 window there.
I did, yeah.
Okay, perfect. You're guessing it's probably half an hour till sundown. Sun's still warming your bones here, but it's going to be night fairly quickly.
Alright.
Should we make our way back to the road and then set up camp?
Why don't we sleep in this building where we can lock the door?
That's what I was thinking.
Algeria.
We'd just take Reshma's hut.
I don't love the idea of sleeping next to a bunch of dead bodies, I'm not gonna lie to you.
True, but it is a more defensible position.
That's objectively true, but it's also unsettling.
I don't disagree.
Well, whatever the majority is comfortable with, I'm good with. I always am fine with sleeping outdoors.
Nova, you're the tiebreaker. What do you think?
I'm fine with sleeping next to the dead bodies. Don't bug me none.
Very well. I will downtrodden walk back towards the hut.
Nova, ever the pragmatist.
Got a tough stomach.
I'm gonna sleep next to the door, though.
We'll say for the simplicity of this, unless you guys want to do anything particular with your individual watches, the night goes by very smoothly.
I do, actually. I'll take the first watch.
Okay. Anybody else going to do anything, or should we just get straight?
No, just do
I
I'll do something during my watch as well, I guess.
Well, we'll go ahead and do yours second then, Erinn. We'll say yours is the third. Just keep it simple.
second, or I don't care. I want to do something.
We'll say you two as well. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
So
since I'm the only one who's not, I'm gonna run to the restroom while you guys are doing that.
okay, sounds good. We'll say Nova goes last.
That works.
So Kylar, you take your first and hopefully only watch throughout this evening.
Right. So, digging through the Hag's Loot, I found a book.
Yes.
And I'm going to wait. Reading through it said it has to be around the witching hour, like midnight. So, I'm going to wait a couple hours into my watch. And I'm going to read through the book. And there's some supplies that I noticed Reshma had on her, some like herbs, like yew and holly and things like that. I'm going to take those. And I'm going to draw the sigil that I found described in this book.
Okay.
And I'm going to perform the ritual that was listed there and that we talked about earlier.
Yes, you do. For our viewers, this isn't too much meta information. It's pretty vague, so you guys can stick on Erzan and Alderia. You hear this kind of humming come from the rune, that is, as it glows. At first it's red, then it dulls, then pink, and then red, and then pink. And you see that the magic has been placed, and then you pour more into it as the yew and holly start burning up into a fine dust. You hear a and little bubbles start floating out from this kind of pink-hued rune, and after a few moments they subside. The magic rescinds, and in the book you see a few spells which you now have on your character sheet, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct.
That are available as access to you. You can cast them using your normal spell slots. Or not your normal spell slots, excuse me, using your feature.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that for that ritual. Won't go any deeper because you don't know more. So you hear a gentle chuckle, a couple bubble pops, and the spells reveal themselves to you.
Afterwards, I tuck the book away and I quickly try and like erase all trace of the ritual.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a performance check. Also. Pretty low DC in general, just because you're kind of wiping the sand off, but who knows?
13.
Someone tries to track you down. Okay, noted. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your rest?
No, I would just read some more of the book.
Okay. With that, we'll move. You'll take the rest of your watch, and then eventually wake up Erzan.
Okay.
All right, it's like 2 or something. It's your turn.
Sleep well, Kylo. And then I will go over to the bodies that are piled over in the corner. And I'm going to sacrifice a blanket that I have in my inventory. I'm going to cut it up, lay out all the bodies like side by side, and cover their eyes with strips of cloth from the blanket.
Okay. You do so.
And just pray over them.
What do you pray?
I pray to Tyr for redemption in their souls and rest wherever they may be.
Okay. As you do so, you feel the gentle energy coming from your Althagil pendant. You lower your eyes and you feel the gentle hum as you lift this prayer up. You get a very strong sense that whoever or whatever might be watching over you feels like justice has more than passed for these bodies, or perhaps at the very least, you have done an adequate job thus far. You're feeling like you feel little retribution vibes, and you feel sad, obviously, for their lives, but proud that you pursued their killer. So
that's all I do with my watch. Go and wake up Alderia.
Okay.
All right, have a good sleep.
You see a kind of grim sight as you wake up, looking past Erzan. You see these bodies now kind of laid in a religious vigil sense with their eyes covered. Seems to be respectful, if not a little gruesome as far as work goes.
I, during my time, am going to take out my Potions for Dummies book.
Okay.
And my new Alchemists, that's what they were.
Alchemist Toolkit?
Alchemist Toolkit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just play around and
Try and practice.
So,
this is going to sound brutal, but if you're attempting to learn, essentially, right?
Yeah, I assume if it's a basics book, it has like a step-by-step.
Yeah, it gives you kind of like the step-by-step attempts. It is a very exact science, and you can imagine with multiple accoutrements that you're setting up, something can go awry. So I will ask for an intelligence check, not using your proficiency as you try to make an alchemist toolkit check. After a certain amount of successes or fails, you may need to may need to try some new tactics, but let's see if this works for now.
13.
13. That is just a success. So you tinker for a while, looking at it. You're turning the heat up on one of your burners as you're walking through, using these very basic solutions that won't have any potent effect, but they describe how it should change this solution from a clear to a yellow, and that would indicate success. You turn it, gets a little bit too hot, and you immediately crank it back. The first drip or so of this pseudo potion that you make comes out orange, and then it starts dripping that yellow, and you kind of wipe a bead of sweat off and go, okay, might be able to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and take note of that.
Just for me's sake,
Mhm.
is this going to be like I keep doing this and then one day I succeed at it and then I'm proficient? Or
Yeah, just as a basic sense, after a certain amount of successes and fails, and with shifting DCs depending on complexity of things attempted and those kinds of things, you gain half proficiency, so you'd had half of your proficiency bonus rounded down. So let's say at 5th level you have a 3, you'd get a +1 to these checks, and then you'd have to go into another set of trying to become proficient fully in this toolkit, which it'll be a little harder than the initial one, but you will have the initial buff as well with the +1. So, and over time, with persistence, even with fails, DCs will lower as well as you kind of are figuring out your way through this. You can get people to help. You could try and find a mentor. There are numerous things you could do that will kind of help in this regard if you're clever about it. But in general, there are shifting DCs. For the sake of this, I'll just say it takes 3 successes or 2 failures, meaning you have 1 failure on the second one, you would have to reset for half proficiency, and then 5 and 2 for full proficiency.
So I got 1.
You got 1.
Alright, cool. I don't really want to open the door in case there's more scarecrows out there, so I will just think about the stars and not look at them.
For sure. It takes a large majority of your time working with these pseudo potions to really do too much, but you are laying back, satisfied with your work, proud that you are making a pretty big leap towards learning how to become an alchemist. Excuse me. But with that, your watch ends, unless you'd like to do anything else, and you wake Nova up. Nova, unless anything has changed in the downtime.
I mean, I might just crack open that black book of mine and do a little reading, as time permits, of course.
In a very familiar sense. Not too much is revealed in this book that you haven't read already, but you see the page as you turn it, the text disappears and appears on the next page, and you go through. It's kind of satisfying, honestly, just watching it go back and forth. You can mess around with it a little.
Man.
Nothing is coming through that's new currently, but it is very fascinating. The dark secrets.
Strange whispers reveal secrets.
.tm.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
And you get through your watch. Not a peep from anywhere. Hear dripping of cave water. The occasional scuttling of a light, small rat or something. But very quiet in general. With that, you guys all awake to the sun rising the next day. Maybe a little after, since you're in the cave. The sun isn't too offensive. The day is yours.
Well, we have a few different ways we can progress, it seems.
We're relatively... So right now we have 2 points. To the north of us is Valtine.
Yep.
Do we know where the labyrinth is?
You guys had a pretty descript map pulled out by Udatoth,
Yep.
describing the location of Acaemus Morrah, the labyrinth.
It's northwest from Voltine, apparently.
Oh, that's right. So we were gonna have to go
Or
back
more
there anyway.
western than northern, if I remember how I described it correctly. It's mostly west and a touch north.
So our fastest route would probably be to travel back to Voltine,
Backtrack, essentially, yeah.
resupply, and then go out.
Yeah, 'cause we have 5
This
days of
is-
supplies left.
Since we don't know where the Night Mother resides, that's one of the paths we could attempt.
It sounds like the Night Mother resides on a dune overlooking the labyrinth, according to this book that we found from Reshma.
So what is it?
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, overlooking a maze.
That's what it sounds like, at
That
least.
completely slipped my mind.
I see. Yes, that poem really kind of brought things together. I think
Yeah.
that's probably the first.
Yeah, you guys had a very fortunate encounter, and that made things drastically clearer. And that's pretty cool.
I think that we should head back to Voltine, and on our way, I would like to try to investigate those burnt bodies a little bit more.
Okay.
I proceeded with the assumption that it was Reshma's doing, but there's no burnt bodies in this lair.
Well, there's that small dragon.
That's true. There is a small dragon as well that could have.
That
been
was the
caused.
other thing we could possibly look into.
Well, I think either way, we're gonna have to go back to Baltine to get supplies. So.
Yeah.
Right.
If I did it right, I only have 5 days left.
No, that's what I'm at.
We are in the middle of a wheat field, though.
Yeah, that's why I asked where we were in, but I think to like use this wheat, you can't. I don't think you just eat wheat.
No, but we could grind it.
I'd rather just pay for food. If I'm being
Yeah.
honest with you.
I can Google how long and how
Shitty
hard it
bread.
is to make bread from real wheat.
Right.
I don't know.
we
Honestly, I
have
don't
to
have any idea.
dry the grains.
Could I head outside and
Grind
see if there's any
them.
rhubarb hiding in that wheat?
You are
do
welcome to
know
try.
rhubarb's native lands,
I do.
You
I know
do.
the biomes in which
and there's
it
always
might be
cactus.
grown.
You can eat the cactus as well.
No.
It's true. Well, you should probably. Well, yeah, no, eating the cactus. Just don't eat the spiky parts, probably, or
Prickly
maybe do.
pear. Prickly pear.
So, what you guys like to do with your time now?
Well, we should probably decide on the best course of action. Do we pursue the dragon and see if there's anything that needs our doing there, or do we go back to Baltine and see if we can't catch up to the Night Mother?
The dragon's to the east of here.
Yes.
Yes.
To the the Savernine Forest kind of lies along the border of Corandaria. So, just as a point of order,
So that's
And
pretty
it's a
far east,
forest.
right?
it's going to be.
Is
So
that where
we'll
I'm from?
do the crappy map until someday I get good tools. You guys are like kind of down here, traveling south west a bit. Looks backwards from where you guys are, but that's southwest. The Savernine Forest is kind of here, so like it would probably due east. You'd hit the very southern border of it, and then traveling upward, you could perhaps see a little bit more.
So go Valtine and east would be.
So if you're resupplying, going to Valtine and then going straight east would work. If you are not resupplying, going due east, you'd eventually come to the end of the desert.
Well,
Probably.
and
To what you've drummed up with Reshma's map.
back in Valtine is where new fancy pants friend Udatoth is,
He was going to Voltine. That's correct.
and he
That is
seems to
true.
have maps. So
Although the Savernine Forest is a forest, we could potentially hunt and forage there as well.
Is that where I'm from?
Yeah, you'd be from the very northwestern corner of the Savernine Forest, atop a pretty large rocky outcropping. So you're
We're
decently
very
familiar with the
familiar with the
territory.
area.
Going deep into the forest wasn't something that was recommended by your people, but something that happened occasionally.
well, I guess it comes down to what sounds scarier, a dragon or the evil big hag.
I would like to when we come back across the bodies, I'd like to investigate them and see if there's any evidence supporting the dragon thing.
Sure.
Either way, it's really hard to tell without having seen the dragon firsthand. I suppose that we know that Reshma was trying to steal its soul as an offering for the Night Mother. If she requires an offering of a dragon soul, it probably follows suit that the dragon is weaker.
That is good thinking.
It's about as
You
much
remember
as I
it was
have.
described quote as young as well in the description. So
I'm always up to go see a dragon.
probably not one of the mighty dragons of mythos, but certainly if
Do you
any
like-
dragon is.
Do you like dragons, Alderia?
I do.
That's what I heard anyway. I'm gonna yeah. Why don't we head? I'm okay with heading east from here. I'd say between Alderia and myself, we should be pretty all right in the forest.
I second that plan of action.
I can probably identify some safe edible fruits and
Safe
such.
edibles, yeah, dude.
I
That's
gotta
lit.
go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
No problem. Do you guys want to take a quick potty break?
What was
Yeah,
it?
why don't we?
All right, we can take our break
I mean,
now.
I did. I just went, but yeah.
We can take like a stretch break and then come back.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
finish.
Let's flip to a screen.
And Zach jumped out of the whole chat.
Yeah. Boy, yoinked.
Hold
He'll
on.
be confused.
Alright,
We'll
yeah,
say
we
meet
take-
back here at like a few minutes after. Yeah,
7:55.
7:58. Let's say.
Sure.
Sounds
got
good.
it.
I'm gonna have a couple slices of
Be
pizza.
right back.
All right.
Be right back, everybody. 7:58 CST. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for waiting for a quick wee break / snack break. We're back. The party is currently in heavy deliberation in the morning following the slaying of Reshma, of whether they should pursue a hint of a dragon that was being tracked / traced, either of those, not the same one at the same time.
Traked.
Traked, yeah, that was really rough. But anyways, it was traced back somewhere to the Savernine Forest, with which there it was lost to Reshma. Otherwise, they are debating going to the town of Valtine to resupply, and then perhaps head out towards Acaemus, Morrah, or the Hag's Lair, which seem to coincide near one another.
Well, I'll put it this way to everybody. If we go to the dragon, what are we going to do?
Kill it.
Why are we killing
Sorry.
the dragon?
Sorry, that was me.
No. I was like, Alderia, why?
I'm not confident that we can kill a dragon at the moment.
I'm not sure why we would want to kill it. We're not making a sacrifice to the Night Mother.
Perhaps we could barter some sort of favor.
I was thinking maybe
Would-
potentially Reshma had injured it and it needed attention.
maybe. Let's go talk to it at least. I mean, if there's anything, there's two things I can do: it's kill shit and talk to dragons.
Well,
I don't know if you know by the way I look.
I say to him in Draconic,
Perhaps we
yes, you
should-
can.
That's pretty good.
My accent's a little rusty.
Perhaps
but,
we
I
should-
haven't practiced in a few years.
These hags were attempting to form a coven. This concerns me quite a bit as well, just in general, because a hag coven could really be
A terror.
powerful force upon our land. So
Indeed.
perhaps we ought to deal with the Night Mother first, and then if reports of this dragon continue to surface, maybe we can go investigate. Right now, we don't
Right.
even know if it's still in the forest.
Yeah, we don't know its whereabouts, just a vague eastward.
Right, from a hag.
From a hag. The source is suspected in already.
They love to lie. We learned that from Aunt Aggie.
And at the very least, the tomb of Acaemus Morrah is an extremely powerful archmagus. We might find
Right, and
artifacts
this-
that are valuable there, if nothing
the-
else.
There's some manner of oracle there as well.
Indeed.
So
Maybe we
I
should
think that we should do
keep the
this
dragon
first.
for later.
And then, right.
Just as a quick point of order, too, it was described as a maze or a labyrinth. When you guys encountered Udatoth, he noted that he had found the remains of Acaemus Morrah somewhere in his journeys.
Oh,
He didn't say directly where, but it seemed to insinuate that it was somewhere, out in some ruin somewhere. So probably doing some kind of dungeon dive on his own of some kind and passed.
Well, I mean,
But other than that,
we're heading that way. We're gonna go through Vaultine anyway, so we could swing by.
we could speak with Udatoth again.
We could chat with him, yes. What do you think, Alderia?
I think we should go back to Valtine on the way, probably to the Hag.
Seems like we're in agreement then. Let's do that.
Well, yeah, at least to Vaultine. Then we'll talk to
Talk to
our
Udatoth,
fancy
yes.
pants pal Udatoth.
Hopefully.
okay. You guys collect your things, gather up your supplies, and are ready to challenge another hot 4 days in the desert. I believe Erzan and Nova rolled D100s last week, correct?
Yes.
I did not. It was just Nova, I believe, for the traveling.
Just no. I thought I had you roll something.
I might be wrong. I don't remember.
You rolled
I for sure
something, didn't you?
I rolled the
Yeah,
D100 for the items. I think that's it, but I could be wrong.
I made you roll something else. I just want to make sure.
If you're doing two, just have Kyler and Alderia do it. That's fine.
You did roll last week, actually. I do have that,
Okay.
and I know why. So you might not remember, but I don't want to spoil too much about what's going on behind the screen. I just know that you did roll for a specific thing. So I'll go ahead and say for this one, why don't you roll for me, Kyler, if you want to roll me a D100 for the first few days.
92.
92. Wow. Good fortune. And just for the sake of brevity, Alderia, if you want to give me for the last 2 days.
Whoa! 78.
78. General good fortune for the travels back. Let me just pull out that. Okay. Gotcha. All right, so you guys spend your first few days traveling back. Again, for the sake of brevity, I'll say your travels back seem pretty clear. Nothing too crazy. But unless someone would like to do something roleplay wise or overnight elements, go ahead and let me know now on night 1. Okay, for night 2, you guys do make camp, and Kyler, you notice as you're making camp a small kind of metal corner sticking out of the sand. Seems to be, probably some kind of cube.
Nova,
Yeah, what's up, man?
you want to come give me a hand with this?
Yeah, for sure. What's going on?
Pointed out. Give me a hand digging this out.
Sorry. Let me see if I have any. Whoa.
I don't have any digging implements, but I
Well,
figured your claws would be better than my hands.
that might be what it's gonna have to be. Yep. Yeah. Let me rifle through this sand here.
Would it help if I moved some sand?
If you're able to.
Can you?
Well, I can't move sand on my own, but I can become something to move some sand.
Certainly something you
That's
could
a
try.
possibility, if you're willing.
Alright. What's something that moves sand? Like a wolf? Just dig.
You'd imagine anything with large paws could probably move sand all right. Just something, scoops of some kind, maybe like a. Man, I don't know. I don't even know, honestly. Something with large, really large claws that kind of act like shovels, maybe, or.
I'll be a black bear and just
Okay.
start helping move sand.
I'll say, as you guys get into this, it seems to be some kind of like dark steel, iron, or maybe even lead. And you spend the first 15 minutes or so kind of digging atop it. You're getting the idea that the scale of this thing is pretty large. You go probably 3 or 4 feet in that first 15 minutes or so, and it does not seem to be ending as you're kind of scaling across the top of it.
What
So now
are we revealing?
like a foot deep. It seems to be, as far as you can tell, just a metal container, perhaps, or something. Some kind of lead. It's the top corner seems to be cube in shape at the very least. So 2 lines and then a third line going down, and you guys have kind of scaled the top of it about 3 or 4 feet and you have not reached the end. So if you'd like to continue excavating,
I would personally.
Yeah, this seems pretty substantial.
I'll walk over and help start digging as well, seeing the rest of my party doing this.
Okay. You guys spend probably the next, if you do it to completion, you gather it would probably take like a day to get all of this removed. But you spend probably 3 or 4 hours and you have the, like, probably a third of it just like kind of scooped out. And you're seeing now, as you look, the flat rooftop kind of betraying it. The front of it is got this ornate, kind of actually familiar beard-like pattern going up the sides that ends kind of in a round accoutrement on the corner. You see they're weaved in specific ways. And this, as you kind of round the corner, probably going 5 or 6 hours, now getting very late into the night, you see that similar pattern on the other side. You're gathering this is some kind of a abode, maybe? You're guessing there's probably a door? Maybe, if not an abode, some kind of storage unit of some kind?
It looks like your mall, Nova.
That's what I was gonna say. Could I compare the handle of my maul to the bearded pattern?
For sure. Go ahead and roll me a... I'll give you... What exactly you're trying to squeeze out? The likeness of them? The craft of them?
Likeness. I don't know that I am familiar enough with metalworking to go any further than that.
Sure. As you compare fairly easily, you can tell that the patterns are different.
Right.
But of a similar... I don't want to say craftsmanship, but they seem to be intentional. You gather that pretty clearly. The way that these are made out are specifically different, not just kind of random.
All right.
I would like to take a break from digging to cast detect magic and see if I can.
I was just gonna ask
kind
if
of
you do that.
magical properties to this box.
Yeah, you gather. It's probably about. So you detect. Okay, so you're detecting magic. The box itself has a very faint abjuration magic around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then within you also find... One moment, please, as I pull up that. You also find a source of transmutation magic. Pretty don't want to say powerful, but potent from within as well. Not a huge source or anything, but a small source that seems pretty potent.
As we uncover the box, are there like any does it become obvious that it's a building with a roof and stuff?
Yeah, as you uncover more, it's starting to get into the late hours of the morning now. But the roof is flat. You're guessing with the very large lack of weather and the faint magic surrounding this building, that it is pretty unlikely that anywhere Terra was worried about with like rain falling on top of it. But you are gathering this is some kind of building. It's got a concrete cement slab that seems to be holding it in the sand upright, but just now buried.
Do we, as we dig, do we uncover any windows or hatches or anything?
As you guys start cresting into the morning, unless there's anything else you guys would like to do besides dig, go ahead and clarify that now.
Well, Alderia, maybe we could put one of those windows on top of it and try and get in that way.
I was gonna say, do these windows open that I have?
Could definitely smash it with a
Or
maul.
are that's a good point. Just break the window.
I was gonna say, like, maybe if they don't open
If
it,
they don't open, you can make them
We
open.
can force them open.
Can we time travel backwards and just do that?
Well, can anybody tell about how thick
No,
this
we're dumb and
metal
it
box is?
I'll
If I
say.
give it a knock on it, could I maybe see if it's just solid?
Do you guys legitimately want to retcon so that you're not staying up all night digging?
Oh, I thought this was before we were like time traveling through the night.
I would say if you guys dug out as much as I've described already, I'd say the bare minimum you could take to gather this is probably an enterable building is at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
As morning, so if you want to retcon back to that, I'll allow it. Otherwise,
I'm fine with it being canon that we're dumb.
That you
And
guys
we
didn't
just
think
like tunnel visioned. There's a thing we gotta do.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
That's my.
up to you guys. And up to you. I will say if you want to, if you gathered that it was probably a building at around 4 hours in, so 3.
that would have been my first thought, you know, seeing that those window
Yeah.
patches were there and saying, hey, maybe we can break in. But if we want to go tunnel vision, that's fine too.
Up to you guys. I will not make a call for this.
I would have suggested the window too.
Yeah, sure. Let's
I
just
can tell
retcon
it's a
it. That's
building.
fine.
Okay, go ahead and mark off
We'll
one of the
time travel
windows.
Back 2 hours.
Well, is it a solid? It's not a solid metal object, right? It's a building.
I mean, it's a solid metal building. Is there a distinction
Is
on
the
the?
wall
We could
less than 2
potentially
feet?
get into it.
Let me just
Is
double
the
check. You're
wall
asking
2
if is
feet?
the window deep enough?
Yeah, the window can be 2 feet thick.
I don't think that we're going to know until we try, at least.
You can try and investigate before you use it.
Buildings are just humanoid containers.
I'll
That's
just-
what they are.
They're just Tupperware for
I'll
humans.
try to investigate, I
Tupperware.
guess. Maybe like knock on it, see if it sounds hollowish.
Go ahead and roll me I'll say investigation check.
I'll
Kind
cast guidance on her as she's doing this
Sure.
as well.
What does
Yeah.
it do to me?
You get a D4 to add to it.
It just makes you feel really great about it.
Hello, people. Where? I think. 14.
14. You're gathering. It's thick, but you do hear a ringing. So, I mean,
Alright.
you're not a metal expert. In fact, you're kind of the opposite. But I mean, it's hard to say that if this was 2 feet thick, seems unlikely that it would
My
ring
little
back.
fist knocking on a 2-foot
Yeah.
thick piece of metal wouldn't really make
You,
sense.
you'd gather logically that would be a pretty sound extension.
All right,
Would
well,
I be able to figure out a little more with my knowledge of metals and jewelry?
You work more on the intricate side of metal. I'll say you're definitely more familiar with it. You gather about the same amount that she would just through general logic. Like if this was 2 feet thick of like lead or super
Right.
dark steel,
It sound like knocking on
it
stone.
would sound like pretty much punching something like it just wouldn't sound. So it probably is thin enough just with logical extension.
Okay. I'll
Can't know
take a
for sure.
window patch. I really don't know how this works.
So
It's
you would
like a
essentially mark
magical
off a
window,
patch.
and I say it's just like a window there.
You would essentially for the window you'd tear off the patch and slap it there and
Alright.
activate the magic.
Sounds good. I'll do
So
that.
you mark off the window and you slap down as you pull off the patch, and it kind of sits there for a second. You're like furrows your brow, and then it kind of turns into this white kind of searing as it spreads and then forms into a window. You look down and it is pitch black, but you don't see metal behind the window, so you imagine it did make it through.
Does the window open?
Yes, it does. I'm not gonna try you
Can,
guys.
can
No,
I
we
just
open from the
drop?
inside because of the window.
Can I
No.
make a little
Yes, but it's
fireball?
locked.
Yeah, I was gonna cast dancing lights and send them inside when.
Sure, yeah, with your produce
That's
flames
probably
and dancing
safe.
lights.
Lights are probably safer than my fire.
They're
Okay,
not
A little
flammable.
bit.
All right, you should do that.
It's a good
Yeah, and
call.
I can direct them up to 120 feet inward.
Okay,
So just
So
kind
let's
of like
say
set
for-
them to take up like posts at the corners of the room that I can see.
for sure. So for simplicity's sake, you do so. You guide them in and watch them all go to their respective corners. So what you guys see in here is pretty eclectic. Along the walls are kind of just dusty, pretty much household items, but they seem to be very fine. Golden bowls, dusty and rusted at this point. Rotted
Stuff.
food at this point, just so sun baked probably that it's just raisins essentially. In the middle of the room, you see what you would guess is some kind of altar or perhaps pillar, like a half pillar. On that, you see a small little rectangular box. And then you'd imagine that, Erzan, you'd imagine that's probably where the transmutation magic came from.
Sure.
Somewhere inside that box. As well as just drawers and, there seems to be almost probably like a stone cooler, kind of like a floor cooler, but seem to be probably, upon inspection, powered by magic of some kind. If you guys would like to dig deeper, you can kind of rifle through.
I'd
How
go
far
for
is
it, though.
how far is the drop?
Not far, like 10 feet. Say carefully falling it, you could neglect the damage it was
Yeah, hey,
supposed
why
to.
don't you
Grab my arms, Nova.
I was
Lower
just
me
saying,
down.
why don't you let me go first and I'll lower you guys down?
Oh, yeah, that works.
Because that's I'm pretty sure if I just extend my arms, I can just like set myself down in there.
Toss me.
Yeah, pretty much can say, like, it's like this far off. You cannot.
I'll just lower them all down. A little bit of trouble with
I will say, as you
Erzan and
enter,
his armor.
go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw. I said there's aberration magic, homie.
I don't know what that means.
That's fair.
Aberration? Did you say aberration magic?
Abjuration.
Abjure. I don't know what that means either. Dang.
That's fair.
How about a 9?
9. That is going to be a failure.
Yeah, I assume so. What are you
that's not-
rolling?
All of the dice.
You take 5 points of poison damage and are considered poisoned.
No.
Are you immune to
I
poison?
will take half of that, and I don't think I can be poisoned.
There you go. Oh,
I'll-
double check that. I think you might have advantage against the saves against poison.
I'll look.
Okay.
But I'll
Then I'll
still-
describe the effect as you do so.
I'll
Yeah.
verbalize that to my comrades. Like, oh,
I'll say to
down here
clarify,
hurts.
as you pass through this metal barrier, you feel like the metal all of a sudden gets cold against your hands as you're grabbing it, and you feel this kind of like almost nausea build up in your stomach as you pass through, and then you land. Being very fortuitous against this, you're pretty familiar with that kind of effect, just as a hybrid dragonborn that's familiar with poison. So.
Nova, should we come down or should we stay out here?
Actually, you said it's poison?
Yeah.
Resistant to acid.
Acid, got it. So you do take the full poison damage in that case.
That was 9?
5.
5.
And you are poisoned for the next hour.
Guy, I don't know, y'all. The metals make me feel kind of queasy. Ugh.
Are you all right?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It just, I just kind of feel sick and it hurts.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Low me down.
I will let him down if that is his wish.
Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw as you go through.
It's a good thing I'm good at this. Oh no!
Hey, I'm good at it too. I just rolled a 4.
I'm
Ooh.
gonna use the favor of the gods
Okay.
because I got an 8.
All right. So you get a reroll, I believe.
No, I had 2d4.
2d4. Gotcha.
2. 15. I'd roll the 3.
15. That does succeed. Your total damage is 11, reduced to 5 after the save, and you are not considered poisoned currently. Pretty hefty damage as you kind of feel that metal leaching into your skin, and your fingers kind of stick. You're like kind of like when you take a shot and you hold it in your mouth.
Yep.
It feels like that, where you're like, I don't know what to do, and then you let go. And it's just the same description as the metal cold kind of leaches into your hands. You feel this nausea in your stomach.
I don't like it down here.
Is there
Anybody
anything
else?
interesting?
Nova,
I'll stay up by the window.
maybe you guys should just stay up there. Well, look.
We'll yell.
Sounds good.
We'll yell if it's time to boogaloo.
Okay, so you guys start rifling around. How do you want to approach this?
Before we go too much further in here, I'm going to cast Healing Word on both myself and Nova by burning a Sork point.
Okay,
Are you
Go ahead and,
poisoned?
roll up.
Yeah.
So Nova gets 8, and I get 7.
You're
Any
both
specific
poisoned?
words you like to say as you cast Healing Word?
Please don't barf.
Yeah, we're both poisoned, but I don't know that
I'm not poisoned.
Oh, I am,
I think
but
you
I
did.
don't know that I have any reason to believe that I am.
You feel pretty gross. I mean, just in general.
I guess,
After,
I feel super nauseous.
so you feel that
Since-
nausea kind of boiling there. Not to a point where you'd vomit, but you're definitely feeling drained after that experience.
I'm gonna vom.
Gotta wait till it comes back.
Can you reach your hand out of the hole?
Yeah.
All right, since he doesn't look so good, I'm gonna give him a high five with his hand out of the hole, and cast Lesser
five of healing.
Restoration on him.
Okay. So his hand exits the hole, you're saying, and you're gonna
Just
high five him that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should work.
Because if he jumps, it'll work.
Yeah, I'll say he's tall enough that his like pointer finger and like middle finger can get out, and you can give him the.
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
I have it.
You're
So
what?
you can.
I'm like 6'11".
Oh, okay.
So with 3.5 feet long ish arms, can reach out and get a good high five in there. So you can go ahead and mark off poisoned.
I didn't know how to
Okay.
mark it, so I didn't.
That's fair. It's different conditions and effects.
Get us some treasure.
You can do
But
it,
in
guys.
the end, if you don't mark it, I can always track it too. It's not a big deal.
let's go take a look.
Yeah, right.
Okay. As you guys dig around, again, you notice the main thing you notice is that kind of pedestal altar with the small box on it.
I'm sure Urzan would have pointed it out too.
I'm guessing, Erzon?
There's transmutation magic on that box.
We'll take a look.
Be careful.
Take a look at that box.
I'm gonna stick my face in it.
All right.
You stick your face in it,
No, God no.
you die.
No, I
Poke it
will
with a stick.
gently open the box.
Okay. As you attempt to, it does seem to be locked. You see a kind of a face. How do I describe this? It's kind of it's got like a helmet, a steel helmet, and then like kind of a blank faced expression. With like it's got like furrowed brows, but you don't see eyes. Just the kind of the impression of a nose and a mouth.
Try
And
to
then
make it jump.
on the bottom of the lock is just kind of like a thick beard. And where the nose impression kind of starts at the top is a keyhole. You'd imagine.
Does it look
that-
dwarven?
Yeah, you would guess this is pretty dwarven in make, just based
Taking
off
a look
of your...
around the rest of the room, is there like etchings, carvings, runes, dwarvish runes anywhere? Because I speak dwarvish.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
I knew it'd come in handy. Non-natural 20.
Mod 20. Yeah, you do catch So the similar kind of patterned pillars where the strange, intricate beard weavings were. Before you notice there are they're matching. First of all, on the inside, you see the remaining 1/4 of the pillars that were on the outside. You now notice are on the inside. And then across the base of those, you read the following: ancient tales of our forefathers. Through bared fruit, do we remember? And they seem to be placed at the bottoms of these pillars on kind of like a smooth, like picture like Grecian style pillars. You know how it has like the pillar part and then like the base, like on that base, kind of a smooth lead with that.
Okay. So they're like pictograms carved into the pillars, like depicting these tales.
No, those are dwarven words written into the pillars. Upon the pillars themselves is that
the
bearded
beard
braid
style
that you're not exactly sure what exactly it is.
Well, I guess at that point I would attempt to jerry-rig my jeweler's tools into the lock.
Yeah, if you'd like to.
A very shoddy.
I'll say roll me a sleight of hand.
Yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't work, I can get it.
10.
Yeah, as you're kind of doesn't seem to be breaking through.
I don't necessarily want to break it. What's inside might be fragile. How big is the box on the altar?
You like probably about that big. It's got a tiny bit of heft to it. As you kind of shake it and gain a kind of sense of how heavy it is too, you hear a kind of like ding, ding, ding of like dampened metal hitting against metal within the box.
Yeah, I'll pocket it.
Okay.
Did I find anything else when I was looking around other than what you described previously, like the rotten food and the rusted utensils?
Yeah, I will say you find a small chest. With your mod 20, you do find a small chest. I'll have everybody go ahead and roll me a d10. Let me just pull up the right... or actually, roll me a d6.
I rolled a 2.
5.
4, 2. Okay. For the 2s, that being Nova and Erzan, go ahead and roll me 2d6.
Total is 6.
10.
10. You guys each gain equivalent amount of silver and a small little bead, almost of like bread texture. For the simplicity of it, this is a bead of nourishment.
Handy.
And then we have was 4 and then 5 for Kylar and Alderia, respectively.
I had the 5.
I had 4.
Oh, vice versa. Okay, so Alderia, go ahead and roll me 4d6, and Kylar rolled me 8d6.
8d6?
Nourishment?
Bead of nourishment, yeah. Essentially, it counts for a ration. It's a day's worth of ration. A common but useful item.
It's Olympus bread.
Yeah.
Stupid Elvish birds.
20.
20. Okay, you get 20
That's
gold.
really good.
That's a great roll.
Jeez.
And then
8d6, I got 27.
27, you get... Oh, wow. You get 27 gold. Sorry, buddy. That one was supposed to feel a little more epic, but...
Yeah, I'll take it, though.
Yeah.
27 gold is 27 gold.
True. Yeah, you find this in a small chest as you're investigating with your mod point. You open up what seems to be kind of an out-of-the-way cabinet below a counter, and in there, kind of tucked away in a corner, is this small, barrel-ish looking chest.
All right.
All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to do in this here little cavern?
I mean, not really. I can't really. I'm not really good at that dwarvish nonsense. So,
I've learned all I can from it. It's a lot of folk tales, it seems.
You guys can't see a key.
I didn't find one.
No, I mean, I'm assuming that any of the searching that I did was included in.
Yeah, you were aiding Kyler, and that affected the DC for sure. Yeah, no key. You're guessing whoever left this here. You don't see any bodies either. So whoever was here and owned it probably did not end their time here. And you're guessing, unless they are extremely old, they are probably no longer on the material plane.
Well, one of the things I think I'm going to do when I get back to town is find a set of lockpicks and a lock to practice on. We've come across this issue more than once.
Yeah.
And it seems none of us have the required dexterity to do it other than me, so I'll take it upon myself to learn.
What's your sleight of hand? What's your
Plus
dex?
2. Plus
Oh,
2,
yeah.
but I'm proficient with the jeweler's tools, which kind of might bleed over.
It aids in the attempt, I will
Similar
say, but
vein to attempt it, yeah.
it's not
I'll
quite.
get a cheap lock and some lock picks and practice on my spare time.
How fine are the things in that?
Everything's rusted and old and worn away by the sand.
Is there
It's not
any
really all that great.
stuff we could sell?
It sounds like not.
I mean,
You're right next to me. I'm sorry.
Kyler, just as a point of order, you are a jewel crafter, which means the kind of intersecting finer chinas that are made of gold, you imagine with a decent amount of effort and time could be refurbished and then made sellable.
Well,
It
if
depends
somebody's
if I
willing
give
to
it
carry them, I could attempt to restore them in my spare time. There is a fair amount here that would probably be worth a decent amount of gold.
Do you need a sack? I have a sack.
Yeah, we
Two
can throw
That would actually probably be beneficial, yes.
it in a sack, and I'll put that sack in my sack.
Just make sure you're very delicate with it, Nova. The china is already
Wait.
old and age brittle.
I'll do my best.
I'll tear up a sack patch. It's awesome.
Okay. You guys collect a whole bunch of gold and silver.
Anything that it looks like it could be easily restored.
Let's say for the genericness of it, gold and silver dishware of kind of pretty beat up matter, and you imagine it would take a while, but you could refurbish this stuff into something that is sellable for at least its amount of gold used to procure it. And you collect that all up in a big jangly sack and navigate your way out through the window.
Yes, sir.
Oh, just as a point of order, you guys do see on the side you were not digging on is a door. So if you dug deep enough, you could probably get there. But
We got it.
We took the
We got
magic
windows.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you see the doors kind of facing probably where the street was, towards the deeper part of the dune. You guys
I'll
pull
help
yourself
hold them up.
I'll say, for the sake of brevity, you guys,
uppy.
if you have troubles, you get over them eventually and make your way out of the lead box that was that probably dwarven home at some point. And the night going into the morning is once again yours. You've collected all there is to collect as far as you can tell. You'd imagine sunup is probably in 3 hours, 4 hours. So if you guys want to continue
So what,
on,
like 2?
I'd say no, it's probably more in the realm of like, yeah, I guess like 3. I'd say, just for simplicity's sake.
Well, let's get a little bit of sleep and press on.
Cool. So short rest?
Is that what you guys like to do?
I mean, I was
We can
thinking
sleep in a little bit.
Sleep until sunrise.
So how
Yeah.
long would that be? Like 2-4 hours?
Yeah,
About
about 4 hours. It would be half of a long rest, I'd say.
All right.
You guys would, if you continue on after that, would probably about halfway through your day suffer a point of exhaustion.
How long
That's
would we have
alright.
to sleep for it to not exhaust us?
8 hours.
Full 8 hours?
Yeah, you'd have to take the full long rest and sleep into the afternoon.
Now let's just get back to town.
Yeah.
To a real
Yeah.
bed.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so that takes care of that. You guys get into your now third day of traveling. It seems to be going smoothly. You guys have had some pretty nice fortune so far on the road. The third night comes, goes again smoothly. You don't see anything this time, but
Each
Let you
night
rest.
until we get back to town, I'm gonna take my watch, trying to polish out some of the rust and
Okay.
start restoring those. Not doing a whole lot of intensive work, but minor stuff I can do on the road with
Sure.
what I have.
sure. Go ahead and roll me a jewel crafter's check.
23.
3. You. Let's see. How much? Okay. You would gather that you probably have cleaned up on that check about 75, gold pieces worth of just exquisite gold dishware that you could probably sell. It's still a little beat up. You can't take something old and make it new, but
Right.
as far as its condition goes, it's quite usable by the time you're done with it and looking much better than it was before.
Was that all of it, or is there still left to do?
20 left to do.
I'll just note that so far.
You guys are rolling in gold. It's
Yeah,
not
on
what I was-
that third night, I'd like to maybe stay up with Kylar.
Okay. You guys get a chance to kind of relax. He goes to his little usual
What's on your
scrubbing.
mind, Nova?
Well, hey man, we came out of that place together, and I just, you feeling any different?
Very.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, look like you didn't know me beforehand. I never didn't usually look like this, but
How do you mean?
I wasn't. There are no silver and black dragonborn. First of all,
Oh,
not
I guess I didn't really know.
yeah, that's not a thing. It's just sort of man, I guess I don't. I'm still me.
What happened to you, I assume.
Yeah. I don't know. So I guess I'm all right now, but I'm just thinking, if I'm different, what they do to you?
I take my hand and I pass it over my face, and I look completely different when I move my hand away.
Well, that's something.
This is what I used to look like.
Oh shit. All right.
Then I put the Kylar face back on.
So this isn't you then.
No. No, it's not.
Huh. And that's about it. I mean, I'm not saying that's about it. Like that's not a big deal. Like, but I mean,
Yeah, there are other things. I did not have kind of like coat my hand in frost. I wasn't really able to do all of this beforehand either. It kind of happened while I was there.
shit.
I think it was dormant, but they woke it up somehow.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of feel like a bit of a wuss complaining about everything they did to me. In that case,
Well, neither of us came out of there looking too
Right.
pretty, I'm
and,
afraid. It wasn't the best place to be.
hey, we're alive. It's,
That's what matters. We can make a difference out here.
just making sure you're still you up top, right?
I don't know if I ever was me up top.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Cool. Well, if you need more help scrubbing them dishes, is that what he has? Dishes?
Yeah, pretty much dishware. Yeah, like
I
silver
have
and
some of the silverware and a polishing cloth and
bowls.
I break the first one.
right. That's why I gave you the silverware because they're harder to break. I work
I'm
on the
sorry,
like
I
fine
knew that.
stuff. Right. You like bend the tines like a gentle touch. Gentle touch.
I know.
Nimble fingers serve well here.
I got you, pal. That's
Okay.
that's about it. Unless you got anything else you want to add there, Connor.
Okay, you guys in a tenuous and not tenuous form of companionship, depending on the axes with which you look. Reside the rest of your watch together and then expire at the appropriate times. As the third night slips past.
Just straight up die.
Yeah, you expire, your last breath goes out, roll.
But appropriately.
Yeah,
At the appropriate time.
You feel like you've completed your story. And that's what you
Full circle. I am the Rat King.
Mhm.
I'm rhubarb.
Rhubarb.
We have been
I knew
crawling towards the unveiling of many, many things, and we will continue to do so. That is okay, because that's what D&D is all about. But you guys finish off your rest, not dying, probably,
Hopefully.
and the sun rises on the next
Who
new day.
knows? Maybe die.
I'll say with this, any exhaustion you guys did have the day before is cleared, so you're good there. If you had marked it down. You continue walking on the fourth day unless there's anything you're trying to accomplish, and see towards the end of your day the action barren houses and destruction that was once Faltine. Now looking a little more lively. There are guards as you walk up the main road. 2 Golden Bulwark members from the troop that not super familiar with, but you did see them with Taverick. Kind of a nod. That's you guys as you enter into town.
Shall we go find Uditolf?
Yeah, man.
Sure.
It's
I think we had some business with him at least.
old fancy pants. See if he has any more information for us.
Considering he travels, he's probably at the inn. I don't know where else he'd have to go, really.
I think he said he was going to try to set up his own shop, if I remember correctly.
It can't hurt to check in with the inn, tell them we're back for at least a day or so. You can talk to Jasmine again, Nova.
Jasmine, yeah.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
You guys go back to the prancing pony.
You guys set up at the inn. I'm gonna try and find Uditolf.
Well, if it, never mind. Sorry.
All right, who's going to the inn?
Me.
I am.
Alderia and Kylar will be heading over to try and find Uditolf.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we wait till the morning, I can just locate a camel. But
Yeah,
Up to you guys what you want to do. I won't stop you.
I'm gonna go looking for him regardless.
Oh yeah, I mean, if everybody's going to go do that, I'm not just going to wander off by myself.
I'll go with.
I'm going to the inn.
Oh, I mean, you can go in the end.
All right.
All right.
So we'll start with the inn. Nova and Erzan, you guys make your way to the familiar prancing pony. This time seems a little more lively indoors as you walk up. Not anything too crazy, but you're guessing there's probably some travelers in here at this point. And as you enter, you do see a couple dragonborns. One is blue scaled and the other red, kind of, you don't say. And the other one kind of, like they seem to be making some back and forth at a booth, as well as the usual suspects coming up to the bar that you guys are a little more familiar with. And you do see Jasmine, as well as a familiar halfling.
Did these dragonborns notice Nova? And react?
They kind of look over, don't recognize him, so they continue their talk just like they would anybody that they don't recognize.
I'll walk up to the bar, sit down, and say, "Anybody else keel over and die at the bar lately?"
Jasmine stifles a chuckle, looks at you slyly. No, dear, I do not believe they have.
That is very good to hear.
It's good to see you two are back safe.
We're all
We're
back.
all back. Yeah, we just we figured we'd come and say hello.
Very good. It's a pleasure to see you, Nova.
You as well.
What can I do for you then?
Have you seen a traveling merchant around here named Uditolf? Kind of
Real
a
fancy looking fella.
peculiar fellow. Yes, fancy is a good word for him.
Now that you mention it, he didn't stop in, but I have heard a little rumble here and there of a peculiar individual setting up shop towards the center of town. Perhaps that is the individual you're looking for.
That's got to be our guy. How's everything else been? Anything
Well,
any other troubling this troubled town?
she kind of looks at Erzan again, kind of like, oh my god. No one's keeled over at my bar. Luckily, that seems to have passed. As far as trouble goes, you know, it's been tough with everything destroyed and family's gone and those kinds of things. And she kind of looks down at her hands a little bit and plays with them. But it's okay. It's been going good. This traveler's in for the first time, and apparently some strange merchant named Udatoth you're looking for.
Fancy merchant.
Fancy merchant. Ooh, I do like fancy.
And I would say, I as much as I do love me a big old cup of ale, I'd get a big cup of water. I have been walking through that desert.
I imagine so, and she'll reach down and get you kind of like almost like a bowl decanter of water.
Lap it like a dog. I'm not doing that in game. No.
I'll look at her and I'll say,
It's tough with a
Jasmine.
dragonborn jaw to drink.
I'd like a glass of each.
A glass of each.
Water and ale.
Oh. I thought you meant like every ale we have. Of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
give me a whole
sorry.
flight.
give me the
We call
flavor.
that wingtip to wingtip at this bar.
Ooh.
She goes back, produces a small kind of like half double sized, I suppose, like whiskey glass of ale, like a big firm thing to help you wet your mustache, and not that you have one necessarily, but if you did, and a glass of water. This one a little bit taller and a little more eloquent for you as her clientele.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can procure for you?
Well, we're going to set off again soon, so if you could start possibly gathering some rations for us to purchase, that'd be much appreciated.
Of course. How much do you need?
Actually, I'm not sure how far away we're going, so maybe we'll I'm gonna assume each of us is gonna need at least 5 days.
No.
All right.
We'll talk to our friend and let you know.
Okay. I will make sure that we have them on hand for when you're ready to purchase them.
Thank you.
Okay, of course.
Scene cut.
You guys start heading out. Kylar and Aldera, you guys find yourselves kind of towards the edge of town. The other two branch off for a moment and make their way into the more familiar direction of the Prancing Pony as you guys are left to your devices to try and find Udatoth. What would you like to do?
No, let's try the marketplace. I assume that there's kind of a general area where people set up shop.
There are various. In these times, it's a little more testing than others, so perhaps that kind of thing might vary a little bit. But you have a couple areas that you'd be more keen to check.
Being a little familiar with the town, having stayed here for a little while, probably just the closest one to where we are right now, and then ask if anybody's seen somebody fancy.
Yeah, you guys-
Is there like a dog or a cat around?
Go ahead and roll me. Well, here. We'll start with this. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Fair enough.
20. Not 20. Plus 7 to perception.
That is an exact tie. I will say tie goes to the attacker, in this case, the person trying to see. You see kind of slinking in the shadow of a couple barrels that have been reset up probably for some kind of supply of some kind. A black cat trying to stay out of the sun.
I'll cast. I don't want ritual cast it. I'll just cast Speak to Animals and go ask it if they've seen like a fancy dude with a red, but a big jewel and a big thing that looks like a horse but has a bumpy back, and offer it some milk.
You offer it some milk?
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of, as the milk is poured, kind of cracks a gold ringed black eye at you, and very black cat-like. He just is this mass of darkness with a gold ring eye pointing out into the light at you. Saw strange man. We'll lead you. Gets up. Stretches big. And Kyler, you note this too as it starts walking by. It seems to be heading towards you were probably going to get to this point after a couple stops inwards, towards the center of the city.
Okay.
It's atypical for someone to set up shop right in the kind of center crossroads for a mobile shop, but it's not unheard of for people that are a little more on the full of themselves side of things.
Well, if it's anybody, that's who to talk.
So you'd imagine that someone that takes himself extremely seriously, or perhaps very well-to-do, would perhaps navigate that direction. And this black cat starts kind of slowly meandering that way, purring and meowing here and there, and occasionally will stop and make Alderia give her a little more food as it continues on its path, licking
As
from
we
the
go, I
milk.
just kind of say down there, you're very comfortable with your magic. You seem to flaunt it a little more than I guess I'm used to personally.
Well, yeah, I want to talk to the animals.
I just haven't really come across somebody who's as free as you with that magic.
Well, you shouldn't be scared to use it.
One
If you
would
got
think.
it.
One would think.
As you guys continue on, the vibe of the city you're getting is a lot more vibrant than what it has been in the past. It's certainly still dilapidated and destroyed, but its people are more upwards and mobile, doing things. You see people out helping each other, doing jobs, commotion occasionally, which is a big step up. And as you make it towards the center of the city, where this small, slender black cat is now probably sweltering in the sun, you see Seema first, kind of laying down, kind of doing a little camel muted hum from across the courtyard. Off of his back, you see like a flipped table with two legs. Above it, a little tent that is casting shade currently on not tent, but like a little tent like apparatus awning, yeah, casting shade on Seema, and behind him, you see the slender form of Mr. or Mrs. Udaton.
How long has that been, by the way?
What's that?
How long was that, by the way?
Not more than 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
20, 25 minutes maybe to navigate to the center. The cat was taking a leisurely pace. You imagine if you sprinted it, it could have been maybe 10 minutes towards the center of town.
Okay.
And from across the way, Udatoth sees you, waves a gentle hand.
Can we
Smirky
back
smile.
and head that way?
Okay. Good afternoon. What can I do for you? It's nice
It's good to see you made it in one piece.
Oh. I appreciate the sentiment.
We appreciate your help out on the road.
For weary travelers such as yourself, it is a small thing. Seema missed you.
Yeah, I beelined it straight to Seema and cast Speak to Animals again and started giving him scratches.
Seema's... Udatoth scratches me sometimes now.
Oh,
And feed him hay from his little side bag that he has. Is there anything you'd like to talk to him about in particular? Or you just
no, I'm just gonna give him scratches, tell him he's a good boy.
As she's preoccupied, I take the dwarven box out of my backpack, and we stumbled across a buried dwarven home and came across this. I was wondering if you have something that might help us open its secrets.
kind of takes it, tries to open it a little bit. This is fine work.
Indeed. I tried opening it myself, but I don't have the right kind of tools, unfortunately.
Very well. I do know I have simple incantation I could attempt. It would cost you 40 gold if you'd like me to open this device for you. There's no
Absolutely,
guarantee
if
it
you're
would
willing.
it's warded strongly, but I could
We can
determine how
certainly give it a
powerful the ward is for another 20 gold. If it has one at all.
You can do what for 28 gold more?
Determine if there's any form of ward that would prevent me from opening it with my magics. And what its strength might be, should it lie inside.
Sure, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll go halfsies. How much do I need to do?
If you'd like
Total would be
to-
30 each.
30?
You'd like me to determine if there's any magical warding before attempting it?
Sure, we'd hate for you to come to any sort of harm trying to open it.
I greatly appreciate that. Casts, you see, kind of does a small sigil rune. Eyes open up, kind of this blue color now all across, including in the whites, and then you see a small beam of white light. There does not seem to be any magic on the outside of this box. Shakes a little bit. Here's the magic, the object inside. Before you pay me, I would be willing to offer you 60 gold for this box.
The box itself, or what lies within?
I'll say for the chance that it is just a simple accoutrement for both.
I'd actually prefer to see what lies within before we make any
Yeah.
sort of deals, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That is very fair. I will open it for you if you don't mind paying me 30 gold apiece.
Certainly.
And the box and its contents are yours to choose what you would like to do with. You see,
I give you
brings up
10 plat, or 3 plat.
3 plat, yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that would have been so much easier. Why didn't I do it that way? I was over here doing the math.
You're welcome to change it, or be like,
Yeah, I mean, he's been a money changer for us before.
He raises his knuckle, and as you see the finger strike the box, this enormous waves out into the air. You're as the metal hinges almost forcibly separate.
Kind of like,
Box turning towards you.
I'll take a look inside.
You see what seems to be, with a familiar kind of dwarvish picture on either side, that stout helm with the beard and the impression of a face. On either side is a bell with a same colored handle. Kind of makes a ringing sound as he kind of gives you back the box, as it kind of lists around the inside. Very fine craftsmanship as far as you're concerned, Kyler. Nothing that's like blowing your mind, but if it is as old as the things around it, fantastic piece.
And extremely well preserved, it looks like.
Yes, interesting piece. Wonder why a bell would be locked away.
Since Ozan's determined that it's fairly magical, how much would it be to tell us exactly what it does?
Well, truthfully, I'd prefer you gamble it to me.
I'm sure you
I'll
would.
offer you for that particular item and its accompanying box. 150 gold.
Kind of look at all the area.
I still kind of want to just know what it is.
I tend to side with her on that.
Very well.
Knowing's half the fun.
For a
Very
measly price
curious.
of 15 gold, I can accomplish this for you.
Yeah, I toss him 15 gold right away.
I'd say
I'm,
at this,
I'm too sunk. I need to know what it is.
that's very fair. I would say at this point, the party kind of reassembles too, as you guys have been kind of haggling a little bit, and some time is taken away. The drinks are had pretty quickly back at the Prancing Pony, and then they navigate together. You guys see Udatoth
Yeah, just in time.
stations.
It's a bell.
Very finely made.
What does it do?
Extremely old. We're about to find out.
It has transmutation magic on it.
Indeed, it does. If you'd like, a measly 15 gold will pay your way to knowing this.
Yeah, I handed it over.
Yeah, hand it over. He casts an identify spell. This time his eyes glowing an arcane kind of purple. He looks at it. Seems to be what is known as a chime of opening. For a limited capacity, it can open things such as doors, locks, and it does have a limited amount of use. But
Can you
quite
see
a trick.
exactly how many uses it has?
I would guess with its current state, 8 or 9 uses left.
Wow.
Excellent.
What is the value of an item like this? What would have taught?
Well, this one actually requires a little bit of brief research, if you don't mind. You see, he kind of reaches down and pulls out a ledger. It's probably about that thick when fully encompassed, and pretty big, textbook style, almost size. Leafs through some pages. I haven't encountered this specific object, but this effect, this here, will modify it. And you see, it flips now to like a page of charts, just like tons of numbers in this huge grid. Immediately scrolls over to like this seemingly random number in the middle. You're guessing he probably is very used to doing this kind of thing. Go ahead and make a roll. I'd wager this object is probably in the realm of about, for sale, 350 gold pieces.
Cool.
It's a very handy tool, as we currently don't have a way such as into this box that we tried to get into. So things like this could come in handy.
I think we should keep it.
Me too.
I tend to agree.
Well, now don't be too hasty.
Udatoth, none of us are good at opening doors.
I see.
Udatoth.
Nova here can punch them open. But besides that, we're pretty
right.
clownish in that regard.
I would be willing to offer you. And remember, I said at sale this would be worth 350 gold.
Indeed.
I could offer you 290 right now for it.
Let me counter that. Do you have more mundane means of opening locks?
I have some basic accoutrement that could help you into encountering locks a little more successfully.
Such as a set of picks and maybe some practice locks that you could toss on top?
I'm sure I have padlocks lying around Seema's bag somewhere.
Throw in, say, 3 different locks of different complexities, a set of picks, and I think we can make that trade.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Ooh, +7, don't fail me now. It's a 10.
It's a 10.
Rolled a 3.
I will throw in the locks, and I will pay you. With the locks and the lock-picking sides, I will throw it to you for 270 gold for the spell.
I turn to the rest of the party.
If you'd like, I also have texts that could help teach you.
I did hear an old proverb once. Give a man a fish and it feeds him for a day. Teach a man to fish and he can catch his own damn fish.
You know, Zan, I tend to agree with that.
Seems a wise tidbit.
That was
What sort of
Ronald Pigeonson. Pigeonson it was.
Ronald Pigeonson.
Accurate memory for history this one has. Be wise
What
to
sort
keep
of premise do you have for?
Well, I have sadly only a beginner's kit, as well as a beginner's book. I'd run you 15 gold for the book. Could drop the price to 255 and include it in the trade, I suppose, if you are interested in learning from it.
I would be, very much so. I think that's a fair trade. What say the rest of you?
That's just for the bell, right?
just for the bell.
Did you drop
Toolkit.
the box, Aldaria?
Padlocks.
Well, no, I was just gonna see if it's on
Oh.
the box too.
155 gold. 18.
Would
I'm
the box
okay
be
with
worth
it.
anything to you?
I included that as part of the sales point price. They do seem to be
I think
matching.
it's a fair price.
I'm
I think it's fair as well.
It's not just my say here. I'd like to know what the rest of you think.
If-
Nova, do you have a say?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Seems like a heck of a deal.
Just kind of look over at him like, are you okay?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
No, I understand that there's currency being exchanged between hands here, but it's a bell. So,
That bell has magic on it that will open doors for us. But it's only usable 8 or 9 times. However, if he gives me the tools and the knowledge to learn how to open locks myself, we won't need such a thing.
it sounds like either way we're going to be able to open doors.
Indeed.
as long as you'll be able to learn how to do it, I'm okay with losing the bell.
I'm perfectly happy to practice. It'll give me something to do with my hands and some downtime.
I'm fine with it, yes.
Very well.
I hold out my hand to Udatoth.
A deal is struck. Reaches
shake
out a
his hand.
graceful, kind of does the annoying
yeah, the
handshake,
little-
like the
Yeah.
finger claw.
That was 255.
Yes, so 255 divided amongst yourselves. Kyler, you can go ahead and add lockpicking tools. A beginner's book on lockpicking and pickpocketing, and a set of amateur to expert padlocks.
Perfect.
That's 64 gold a pop.
64 gold a pop.
Okay, we're gonna round.
That's rounded up by 1 gold piece. I hope that's alright.
Consider it a
46? Sorry, I was typing. you say 40?
64.
64.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do for you all? Glad to see you all back in one piece.
Yes, Udatoth, we wished to consult your map again. I think that we are planning on pursuing the labyrinth of Acaemus Morrah.
You'd like to go to Acaemus? Well, I tell you what, it's been many a year since I've stood in front of it. If you'd like, I would go and travel with you for, say, 150 gold. I could guide you straight to it myself.
I think that would be very helpful.
So glad we just got 150 gold from you. Oh no, we got 250. Sorry.
Of course, you'll be providing rations and water and sleeping quarters and whatnot.
It's turning into an expensive adventure.
As long as you provide us with some exciting tales along the way.
I'm sure I can regale you.
150 seems like a lot.
That's not
you
including
say that in
food and
character?
shelter and water.
Yeah, no.
It's up to you. It's up to you if you want to say it.
I'd take it.
Um,
Take us straight there.
I don't, because I'm supposed to be all naive.
Well, if you don't wish to take me along, I understand, but I can assure you, for a guide of my expertise, it's quite a deal, frankly.
If we take you on, will you help guide us through the labyrinth or just to the labyrinth? Or give us some pointers for how to proceed through the labyrinth or something?
I have entered the labyrinth once before. I will admit, I got a few rooms in and proceeded to leave. It was too daunting for my blood.
Is that actually where you found Acaemus Morrah's spell book?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. You they kind of stroke their chin and consider whether they're going to.
Finally, a good one. 24.
Could I roll an insight?
On what he's about to say?
No, on what he said about how far into the labyrinth he went.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a check.
12.
12 is just a failure. You gather that if I will say this, they seem to be withholding something. Lying, not necessarily. They don't seem to be, tripping over their words or any of those kinds of things. So kind of up in the air, but you're gathering there's a gentle omission, perhaps, even with your not quite successful. But I would say anyone that didn't make this roll could probably gather that there's more to the tale. So take that how you will. And then there was one other thing. Kyler rolled a persuasion check. That was,
Yes.
and it was a 24 to ask about whether
if that's where he found the spell book of Acaemus Morrah in the labyrinth.
Well, it is a long tale, but I will suffice it to say that through some cunning and trickery, I made it through a particularly dangerous underground pyramid of sorts. And towards the center of this pyramid, I found a corpse, procured his book, and made my way back. I figured once I saw some of the incantations within, I knew if I were to continue any further, I would be no match for something that could take down Acaemus Morrah himself. I hope that sufficiently answers your question.
Sounds like a tale I'd love to hear in its entirety sometime.
It is mostly me dipping, dodging, ducking, getting scorched, getting poisoned, getting my toes stubbed on things that were
And then
very
dodging.
unpleasant, navigating through puzzles.
5 days of labyrinth exploration.
Yes,
And
exactly.
dodging.
Dodge, duck,
Dipping,
dip, dive,
ducking,
and
dodging,
dodge.
dipping, decapitating.
That's
That's an even-
There you go.
I mean, it was mostly tongue-in-cheek, but
Hey man, you sell any armor?
I do have a few pieces. Let's see.
kind of medium.
I've got this
Hey man,
here. He pulls out. They pull out. God, I'm bad at this. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm doing it too.
We're all learning. We're all getting better.
They
That's all
are
good.
they,
They are they.
and we are trying.
We are trying. Thank you, Luke. Well said. They pull out this what seems to be a half plate, kind of held together by rings, and underneath that leather. I could sell you this individual piece for 2,200 gold pieces.
Do you have
Yeah.
any medium armor?
That's heavy.
This is heavy. Quite hefty, and he kind of hands it over. They kind of hand it over. Kind of at this, and you kind of feel the heft of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking it over real good. Like, you know what? Maybe not today. And I am just lying. I'm trying to
and roll
come up with the fact that I have nowhere near that amount of money.
The embarrassment and shame.
It's like walking into a Ferrari dealership.
Yeah, with your $20 bill.
Yeah.
yeah, can I get a car?
Did you want a deception?
I saw Ferrari
If
on
you'd
my way
like,
to work
or
this
a
morning.
performance, if you'd like to try and kind of
On
play
a
it off,
Claremont.
like you could, but you're
It
gonna
was
hold
white.
off.
You sure it wasn't that Lambo?
Up to you.
No, it was a Ferrari.
Nice.
I'm 100% sure.
That's cool.
We were revving next to each other at the stoplight. Yeah.
22.
22 for your performance. Well, As soon as you change your mind, I'm sure it will be here. Gold is hard to come by, and admittedly, you are my primary
The
customer.
desert's hot too, so it's whatever.
Can we sell what we have with those bowls?
I think Kylo is going to restore them before we sell them.
Are they not fully restored?
Indeed,
They're
no.
kind of rusty.
I've only just begun.
Oh, okay.
If Udatoth would like to look over some of the pieces I've finished, he's more than welcome. They're more than welcome to.
I would most certainly love to.
I'll take out the very few bowls and plates and things that I've actually managed to restore.
Yeah, they kind of take a peer over it and look one piece by piece. This process. You can tell they are meticulous, analyzing every single detail.
And I'm like watching him like finger every dent that that like I've noticed,
Trying to get in the
kinda,
light.
wincing internally
Yeah.
as they like pour over it. Like,
I
oh
would-
yeah, I know that one was bad.
For the lot you've given me here, offer you 45 gold pieces.
Well, I'd say it's worth a bit more than that. Maybe I'll spend a little more time with it, see if I can't smooth out some of those.
Just as a clarifying order, that was just the pieces that you had cleared already, not including the uncleared ones.
Yeah, you said I'd done 75 so far. I was like, maybe I'll spend a little more time working on it then.
Well, if that is how you'd like it, here you are.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
I can respect that. Now, is there any other business that you would all like to attend to? Yes, Ms. Alderia.
Do you have any medium armor
Well,
that are about me size?
let me check through.
Child size, kind of.
Just gotta make sure I'm getting this right.
Fucking baby gap for armor.
Well, I do have this piece here. They pull out a kind of.
I see you said
Scale
she this time.
I think I did. I'm bad at this. God. They pull out a piece of what at first glance is ringmail, but upon further inspection, seems to have these kind of like plate-like elements to it that you recognize as scale mail. It does cause disadvantage for stealth. In that sense, it is metal and clangy, but it does provide good armor. They kind of look over the piece. I've been sitting on this one for quite some time. Truthfully, I haven't even bothered checking the enchantment on it, but I do know it is there. I'd be willing to offer 550 gold pieces.
Did he say enchantment? I don't know who's next to me, but I'm gonna be like, did they say enchantment?
Yes, he did say enchantment.
They.
Yes,
You guys
he
don't
did
know.
say
that.
enchantment.
You might perceive them as a he or a she. It's up to your characters.
Okay.
We just know that they're there. So
We the
Erzon
jury
is
people are
lawful.
very
He's politically
open.
correct.
Read the jury.
Subtle as a hammer, as always, Ozan.
What'd you say?
I said Erzon is lawful. He's politically correct.
Did they say enchantment?
Yes, they did say enchantment. You're right.
Oh my stars.
Perhaps you should augury about it.
You know, you're so right.
I have a feeling the answer is wheel.
I would like to. Well,
You
Who'da
could be
talk
cursed,
wheel?
Nova.
it could
Who'da
be.
talk
It could
deal?
be bad.
Ooh.
And deals.
to talk wheel and deal.
I'm gonna be like, Udatoth, let me just. Do
Let me
you
take a
know
selfie.
what the? Do you know what the enchantment did? You don't remember the
I
enchantment?
have not taken much time lately to look into it, but I do know it is of a decent value.
Just think on it for 1 second, and I'm gonna augury. I'm gonna augury on it, on whatever this enchantment is.
You see the familiar, this time masculine, star patterns come before you, finalizing with the giraffe extending its neck up. looking back and then walking away from you. You finally see the ram, the single star left of the ram, and you hear, "Will."
I'm gonna turn around and try to look all like, you know.
I mean, we all heard that, so.
Thank you for the street show, Alderia.
I'm naive,
Are there any
guys.
passers by watching?
Walking around like,
You see
oh,
a woman walking next to a lizard person. Kind of look over. Lizard person kind of nudges, gives them eyes like, don't, gives her eyes like, don't look, and they kind of keep walking.
All right,
It's a gentle. It's not like a wheel of fortune, nothing like that. But like,
I'm gonna turn around and try to look casual, like maybe I'm interested. Would you take 500 gold?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
I'll add when she says that we have done quite a bit of business with you already today. Maybe a good customer discount.
They will consider it.
Do I get to like help her out at all with it?
It'll affect the DC.
14.
I suppose I could give you a good customer discount. They look at Tyler.
Just
How
do the
does
dimple.
525 gold pieces sound?
You drive a hard bargain, my dude or dudette.
Dude is fine. It's an agendered term.
Oh, okay.
Dude is yes. Dude does not have a gender reference.
We've
You're
smashed
right, because when Thaddeus asked me out, he said, "Hey, dude."
it. Hey now,
Slid into my DMs and said, "Hey, dude."
look at you guys now.
So
But
Shockingly.
they
We take
look.
note here.
I wouldn't be much of a business person if I didn't.
All right, 525
525.
golds is.
Okay. And they hand you over the scale mill. I think you'll be quite happy.
So are we going to bring Udatoth with us to guide us to the maze?
I think it is worth noting, for this gold price, I cannot help you in any encounters you might have, so I'd like to stay out of them, keep me and Seema safe, and protect my assets.
Of course.
If you'd like to hire me as a combatant, I think the price of perhaps 1,500 gold pieces would be fair.
no, I think maybe we should just take a look at your map.
Yeah.
Man,
I already have that.
Oh, you do. Never
Yeah, I
mind.
bought the map already.
Yes, you've acquired the map.
Never mind. I think that's all we need. I mean, I do appreciate the offer.
Of course.
It's just ever so slightly out of price range at the moment.
Oh, I do understand. You've been such great customers. I see much of your gold already, and
I'm sure you'll see more once we return.
I do hope so.
So we're not bringing Udatoth?
It does appear that way.
That's all right.
Perhaps in the future we could work out some sort of a deal where we spread your name far and wide, in return for preferential treatment.
I've heard of this term historically that they used called sponsorship.
I was just about to say that, Alderia.
How very guild of you.
I am from a licensed member of the Jewelers Guild, so it's not an unheard of thing. And we've had such success with you already. I figured a more concrete partnership in the future may benefit us both.
I will keep it brief for you, Kyler. I think the subtlety of my name amongst the guild is perhaps for the best of both of us. If that's agreeable.
That's fair.
Very good. Now, if there's anything else I can do for you all,
Ooh,
That'll be about it.
you don't make potions, do you?
I certainly love them, but I do not make them.
Okay.
If you're curious, I have a few unidentified ones.
Unidentified? I don't think I'm proficient enough at yet from my 101 textbook I
Yeah.
got from you.
With some metagame, with some luck, you could probably guess whereabouts what they might do. Kyler at this point is probably, with his Arcana proficiency, a little more adept at that.
I was about to say, I could take a crack at identifying those for you to toss for a fee if you like.
Ooh!
You learn well, Kyler.
I learned from the best. What can I say?
I will offer you. I have 3. I'll offer you 20 gold pieces to take a crack at it. But you must give me your honest answer.
Of course, absolutely. If I'm able to determine the potion's nature itself, I will answer honestly. If I'm not able to determine it, the bargain still stands.
Very well. Here you are. Opens up a small box. You see a single orange potion, a single blue potion, and a single green potion.
Yeah, I'll definitely take some time with each of them, and kind of dip my pinky in.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, starting with the orange. We'll go through all 3.
Gotcha. Orange is going to be a 6.
Truly a bummer. How about this middle one here? Go ahead and roll for the blue if you'd like.
Much better. 21.
You are pretty familiar with arcane nature in general, and you would guess this potion has something to do with... you can't pin down the exact effect per se, but you're guessing similar potions you've seen, like it have restored magics of some kind, occasionally fueled. It's generally a fueling magic kind of essence to it.
Okay, and I'll kind of relay that as I learn.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that does occur to you is the color blue is largely associated with either cold or lightning, so if it's an elemental effect, it could be something like that too.
Okay.
And then with the green potion.
Natural 20, 23.
Natural 20, you determine very clearly that this is a nightshade poison.
Nightshade poison. Okay.
Mixed such that it looks a little more mundane into this
kind of
lime green look.
Spit that one out afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of rinse my mouth out.
Dearie me, I suppose business does come with a cost, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
I do hope you're all right.
It wasn't very much. It was only a taste, and I knew immediately from what it was.
Very good. Well, thank you.
And I pocket that 20 gold, baby.
2 platinum and kind of in a fanciful style hand them to you. Well, it has been a pleasure doing business. I think Seema, after all that hay, deserves a little water. I think I will tend to that and close shop for now.
Scratches.
Thank you all. I've been doing much better, thank you. I'm sure Seema will inform you of such.
Thank you, Uditoth.
Thank you.
Of course.
Shall we go back to the pony for some dinner and a planning session?
And
And
bed.
revels.
And what?
Revels.
Sorry, that was fun.
Rebels?
We're gonna
Revels.
have drinks.
Party.
What?
Revel.
Reveling. Revels.
Ale.
Oh, revel.
Drinks.
Yeah.
Reveling, like partying.
I've never heard that term before.
Welcome to the club.
So let's go
Libation.
revel! Libation!
This is a threat. You guys are gonna head back to the Prancing Pony then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Uditoth bids you adieu. You guys make your way back to the Prancing Pony, where Jasmine's smiling face greets you all once again, offering you guys a table and fine service as she always does, flirting gently with Nova.
I'm going to be the biggest buzzkill ever and immediately crack open that lockpicking book.
Sure. You guys
And
see
just
Kyler kind of
bury my face in it.
Sure. And I would say with enough devotion, you get through the basics of what you'd need to learn for tonight
Right.
to
I
probably start practicing.
being oblivious, I take out like the locks and the picks and like as it's like explaining how to do some of the basic stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I see it. And I'm like at the table, just
Right,
like
right.
picking these locks.
Sure. Yeah, but the rest of your night, unless there's anything else you guys are doing.
I'm
In
gonna
particular.
stare at my new armor and try to tune
Sure,
figure
yeah.
out what it does.
So let me. I'm gonna have to do a type up for this one. So
Kylo, not to
just a moment.
distract from your tinkering, but could you please lay out the map on the table?
Oh, certainly. I pull out the leather tube, pop it open, and gently start to unfold the map.
All right. How far away from us is the labyrinth, so we know how much rations to get and stuff?
You guys would gather it's probably in the realm of about 7 days travel.
7 days travel.
So about
It is deep desert though, so it's going to be a little slower going and probably a little more dangerous routing.
maybe we should each pack about 20 days worth of rations.
Did you
Uh-oh.
abandon us?
Oh no.
Sorry,
Did that mess up our?
I clicked the wrong thing.
It's okay.
We're back on.
Did that?
There you go.
Oh shoot, the cameras are funky.
There we go.
Oh,
It's
we're all good.
fixed.
Okay, I think we're all good.
Sorry, technology's tired.
Yes.
Maybe we should get 20 ration packs piece.
That way we have enough there and back in a couple days besides.
Right. Maybe, who knows how deep this is. Sorry. Who knows
Is there a
how
bog here?
who knows how
No,
deep this
But my
maze
virus
goes.
and threat protection summary just popped up.
I don't see any
Nice.
threats. This is a bar. It's usually pretty safe.
There was a virus
There
though.
was a virus.
It was. That was a nasty thing.
So I'll relay that to Jasmine and ask for 80 packs of rations
Lord.
Of course.
or portions.
80 portions of rations. Oh, I suppose we could sell that to you for about 10 gold. Oh man, I'm still doing. Sorry. 80 portions of rations. I suppose I could do that for about 10 gold pieces.
Thank you.
That's it.
Does everybody just want to give her?
I
Three.
just toss her a plat.
Sure, that works too.
Very well. I will get those all ready for you. Are you staying the night?
Yes, we are. We
Oh,
were
yes,
planning
yeah.
on taking off in the morning.
All right. They will be waiting for you down here in a couple barrels. We'll leave them over in the corner there.
Can we get a few spare water skins as well?
Of course. We'll leave them with the bags
Thank you.
and barrels. Very well. And she goes about her business. Other than that, sorry. Let me get this this magic item typed up for Alderia here.
Oh, we apparently have torches. Neat.
Wow.
And 50 feet of rope.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Oh man, I could have sold my topaz.
Oh, yeah.
You
Dang
do
it.
it on your way out in the morning or on your way back
forgot.
after Acaemus.
Creeper. Aw man.
So
Actually gonna check something real quick if you're right back.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. If you guys want to take just a quick second, I'm almost done. But
how about that global pandemic though? Good times.
It's not global anymore.
Wild.
It's not global anymore?
Well, it is, but it's
I was
only
about to say,
really bad. It's only really bad in one country now.
Yeah.
Weird.
Isn't Brazil still getting hit really hard though?
Are they? I don't know.
I think so.
I know that it's totally gone in New Zealand and mostly gone in Europe.
That's what happens when you follow guidelines.
You think too much. I don't like your kind.
How dare you use logic and reasoning?
You sheep.
There you go. I will DM that to you on Facebook, Erinn, just to make it simple.
Hello.
That's again.
Check your
Thaddeus
Facebook in a
asked me
minute.
out.
Yeah, that's a good piece. It's a really, really strong piece of equipment you got. So we'll just pull up Fosse book, which I purposefully have closed because I don't like to see my notifications and stuff. But this is a special occasion. Not here.
Well, I'm going to call it a night. I reckon that we get a move on in the morning.
Indeed.
How many water skins did she give us extra?
There we are. In the morning, you guys wake to find probably about. Let's see what they have. We'll say 3 apiece for each of you.
3 of
Oh.
these, so I have 5
Yeah.
now. Hot.
And you can add 20 rations of pop, right?
Yeah, 20 rations.
Yep.
Boy, for having a 9 strength and carrying 115 pounds, Kyler's still unencumbered.
Yeah, just as I can't remember if I said this specifically, but I definitely do not run encumberment rules. So,
No, I
like, if it got
appreciate
ridiculous,
that
like,
quite a
just
bit.
carrying like a friggin' chest of gold.
Right.
that's
Nova's
true.
going to be carrying that.
Oh, just as a point of order to Aldaria, that armor it acts in addition to those effects as scale mail armor. So,
Which is
14
Well,
plus
well-
Dex AC, but the cap is at 2 Dex points. So probably 16 for you if I remember right. But
this is awesome.
it's pretty cool.
We'll have to make it for you in D&D Beyond later.
It's you got a screaming deal for it, my friend. And it is cool. That's the
Anyways.
player. I love that thing.
Lucky people get to use armor.
Mhm. No small
I've been
price.
there, buddy. I've been there.
Bracers.
Yep. Yeah, you guys if you
Right.
want to spend your gold,
Is
There's-
there like a magic shop other than Udatoth in town?
not in town, sadly.
Is there a shop in town?
Right.
There are very basic like stalls opened, but most of it is like salted meats. Those kinds of
The
things.
only thing that I have any interest in starts with the letter P and ends in late mail.
What's
if you want magic plate mail, it's going to be a hot minute. So
That's why I'm saving my monies.
Why
fair
is the mail late? Usually it's on time.
P late mail.
Bruh.
Shall we begin our journey?
No time like the present.
Okay. You guys.
Does anybody else have anything to do in town?
Nah, man.
Not the moment.
No.
Before we go, Aldaria, do you think maybe you could just give us a general augury on our decision?
To go?
Yeah.
Could I?
You're certainly welcome to.
Oh, great. GM.
Sure. I don't like that, but whatever. What would you like to augur?
Apparently, our decision to go on this trip.
I mean, you could ask it if we're going into if going into the labyrinth is a good idea, or pursuing the Night Mother.
Just remember, whatever you ask, you're welcome to ask whatever, but it is
Yeah, it
the
works
more
best.
binary, the more
Yeah.
the more accurate a result you'd get. If it's vague, you might get a this then that, or this or that if
Right.
it's really vague. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I can't really ask vague things.
Fair enough. The stars work in mysterious ways.
They
Let's
do.
press on.
Another
Okay.
point of
Not
order.
gonna go through it.
No.
Hang on.
Another point of order. Should we procure horses for this journey? It might take a
I don't-
little.
Camels.
I
Oh,
don't
camels.
know if there is anywhere to procure horses. There's almost no one here.
ODM.
If you guys would like to try and find a stable, you're certainly welcome to.
Would Nova and I, having lived in the town for a little bit, would we know of any?
I
Offhand?
will say, without having actively searched for one, and this is size-wise still a decently large town, not necessarily population-wise. You've seen horses in and around, so you would imagine there's one, but you haven't necessarily visited it and been like, that is the stable. I am going there for a horse. So you probably get the idea that there's at the very least a basic form of some kind of horse you could acquire.
Is Jasmine or any of the other barkeeps around at the moment in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning you see the small halfling man is tending to the last finishing touches as you guys are kind of packing up to your rations. Yes,
Ben
what
is
can I do
here.
for you?
We're looking for some sort of mount to go westwood, I believe. Is there anything like that we could purchase in the city or rent for an extended period of time?
Well, I imagine your best bet would probably be to talk to one of the farmers on your way out, as they tend to use them for, plowing and those kinds of things.
Is there
I
any
think
farm that breeds horses or would have more than normal, since we need 3 or 4?
Camels.
Or camels?
Camels would be much more suited for the desert. I don't know any that breed in particular. I know. What is his name?
Jebediah.
I know Cleve out at the ranch towards the west. Probably 2-3 hours journey. Runs a fairly strong business with their own farm, so perhaps they could be a good person to stop in with.
Might be worth looking into anyways. Any others in that direction that you can think of offhand?
In that direction, I'd imagine none so successful as Cleve. There's a couple of farms to the south, perhaps, that might be able to help you as well. To the north, less, since that's where most of the combat took place.
That makes sense. Well, I thank you for your information, and I kind of slide him a silver.
Thank you very much. I hope these rations serve you very well, and we hope to see you back. And looks up and down the rations, kind of getting a real grasp of how much you guys are taking. 14 days, perhaps? Fortnight?
Roughly, yes. Hopefully it won't take much longer than that.
With luck.
With luck, indeed.
Good day.
Kind of go back over to the party, and there's a farm on our way out west that apparently does business with horses. According to the innkeep, he does a fairly booming business as well, so it might be worth looking into to expedite the travel.
Horses, not camels.
You gathered camels. You gathered camels would be.
Oh, camel.
The horses would not fare well in the desert.
Camels, then.
Camels.
Right. Wait, he breeds camels, or
He has a business with them, I guess.
He has a large farming operation compared to those around, was the vibe you're getting. So if there was someone that had
camels,
you would imagine any farming business out here would involve camels.
And he might be willing
so
to
if there was a
look
place
at-
with spare camels, that would be the place that this individual thinks of to recommend it.
We'll be going that way anyways. It can't hurt to stop in and ask at least.
right?
Might save us a little time in the long run. At worst, we waste an hour.
The foot pain at least.
Indeed.
All I heard was farm of camels. Let's go.
Indeed.
So you guys make your way out of the city towards the west, following the main road, knowing that it will eventually lead you to, probably at least lead you to Mr. Cleve's business. So as you do that, you guys make your way out and see just kind of the desert sprawl before you again, the shifting sand carrying things across its top. After a few, say, hour and a half of adventure, you see off to the northeastern, west north kind of direction, a farm. Seems fairly large. At a distance, you can tell that it's a pretty big operation. You see kind of cactus being grown, and you see workers hacking into them with large hatchets.
They must also be after the quenchiest drink.
And then you also see a lot of camels kind of dragging these like large, almost like enormous spade-like things through the more rough parts of the sand where it breaks into dry sand rather than loose sand.
As we're walking up, I'd like to walk over to Kyla and say, Kyla, as we negotiate, perhaps we should try to rent rather than buy.
Oh no, I don't care for an animal for the next foreseeable future. I'd love to just drop them back off when we're done.
We're not gonna buy one?
You can certainly purchase your own. I have no intentions of doing so.
I also camels aren't used in most of the rest of the world for travel. If I was going to purchase a beast, I'd prefer to buy a horse.
Indeed.
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't buy it.
Don't let him dissuade you, Aldaria. Your money is your own, and if you want to purchase a camel for yourself, feel free.
No, it's alright.
Let's go see.
You guys approach the farm. You see, again, that fairly bustling business. A couple of farm hands give you "ho there's" and things like that as you seem to be amicably walking towards the farm.
I can't read.
I can't read. You do see kind of an older orc gentleman sitting on the stoop of a pretty large house, kind of surrounded in the farms by the farms.
Kind of wave as we come up and ho there. We're looking for Mr. Cleve.
You found him. What
Good
can I
afternoon.
do for you?
We were looking to potentially rent some beasts of burden, some camels, if you have to spare. We have a journey out west and would like to save a little time.
I imagine we could do business.
Excellent. I'd say we'd at least need 3 or 4. Potentially we could double up on one. But I think Nova here, and I kind of pat him, might need his own beast.
Well, I'll admit, times are a little tough these days. I could spare 4, but you'd be taken directly from my working stock. I could offer 1 at a reasonable price, but any beyond that, the fees are going to be a little bit extraordinary, if you understand my taking of it.
Indeed. I should note that we would only be gone for about a fortnight as well. We do expect to return in about that time frame.
What is the nature of your travel?
We are heading out west to investigate some ruins we've been contracted to investigate.
And these ruins, are they dangerous? Will you return with your lives?
I'd say that they're empty as far as we know.
Of course we'll be back.
We were sent to be more archaeologists of a sort, not necessarily dungeon delvers.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion or deception check, depending on what you're kind of trying to go for here, and please explain as you do so.
Yeah, we're dungeon delving for sure.
It's a lie. I kind of shake my head and extract myself from the situation.
That's fair.
I'll
say
it's a lie. It's a lie.
Sure, go ahead and roll a deception check.
They're both +7, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Sure.
Oh. 22. Okay.
22. You see him give you a hard glance for a second. Eyes flick over to Urzan for a moment as he turns his back to the party.
He's not one for haggling. He gets very upset every time we do. He feels prices are prices and we should just pay and be on our way. You, a savvy businessman, however, understand the way of the world.
Well, for that you're right. I could offer you the first camel, full rent for a fortnight, for 30 gold. And I suppose for the extras, with the full intention of you returning them to me in the same health they came.
Of course.
And fed and whatnot along the way. Could offer 300 gold for the rest of them.
if we were only to do 3 camels, 1 for Nova and 2 for the rest of us, would you consider that price a little lower?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to work with you. I just
I
Gotta run my phone.
understand with the war being through here as well, it's taken a toll on everybody, including us. I mean, we're not exactly the most flush. I could say for everything, we could probably get away for about 250.
I tell you what, you seem like well-to-do folk. You've guaranteed me of your safe return, and I will expect that means if all but one of you die of dehydration, you will still return to me.
I kind of look to the others. This includes you. You would be obligated to return if I or the rest of us did not. Would you be willing to agree to that?
Of course.
I would never break my word.
Very good.
Yeah.
Then I will offer it to you for 200 gold. But I would like to note, if any of them come back maimed or dead, I'll cost you 75 gold per camel.
Of course. If for any reason that any of the animals come to any harm, we would be more than happy to pay for the damages. Of course,
Very good.
that's only fair.
Then I think we've struck ourselves a deal.
I look to the rest of the party. Is this amenable to you all?
Of course. Yeah.
Who's gonna share camels?
I figured we would figure that out as we left. I know Nova has to have his own. He's a rather large lad, and I don't know if a beast could have more than one person with him.
Now you listen here.
I look up at him. Nova, you're big.
Yeah, you're right.
And we said we're politically correct on the stream.
That's
I'll
50
be-
gold. 50 gold a person, right?
The camel can handle
Big old
Nova, right?
Only one way to find out.
Oh no! It's gonna be
I kinda-
sway backed.
I look at Cleve, and it's like it'd be strong enough to take a man of Nova's stature, correct?
I mean,
They're
a
hardy
strong
beasts.
camel. They spend most of their time plowing for us. We have to keep up a lot with how hard it is to grow out here. So I imagine put on the right one and should be fine as long as you're taking care of the beast.
I think we can manage that. So we all in agreement that we're going to rent some camels and take care of them as best we're able.
Of
Yep.
course.
50 gold each.
All right.
Thank you much. Let me go write up a brief contract.
Indeed. We'll wait here.
Very well. Cleve leaves for probably about 10 minutes. He comes back out. Pretty
In that time, I'll have collected the gold from everybody, so we have it
Sure.
ready.
sure. You see a contract that is pretty much 3 sentences long for rental of 3 camels. Per maim or injured one, 75 gold pieces upon return. Please sign here, users. And he kind of looks down. I messed the first few up. I apologize about the wait.
Oh no, that's completely understandable.
If I could have you all sign below, I will file this away.
Give it a signature with a big flourish.
Sign it as well.
Sign it and be like, you have really nice handwriting.
Thank you.
N-O-V-A.
I snap the feather tip at the end.
Oh,
Got
shit.
Cleve kind of grimaces.
I
All right.
I give an extra gold when I hand the contract back for the pen.
Thank you very much.
Good job,
Don't
Nova.
worry.
You spelled your name right.
Got the idea.
I would do.
Blows on the ink to dry it out. Takes a stamp, dips it in wax, and you can rest assured this will be filed away safely. If my
We
camel
appreciate
does
that.
not return, I will be contacting local law enforcement as you have signed on this contract.
Absolutely, I'd expect nothing less.
And, well, if that's the case, head right on over to that barn and they'll get you suited up there. Tell them
Indeed.
Cleve says get your asses moving.
We appreciate it very much, Mr. Cleve.
Of course. Sits down, pulls out a long pipe, and strikes some, which you'd guess is probably some kind of desert tobacco of some kind. Start the piping away. As you guys linger, if you do, kind of chews you away a little bit with the eyebrows.
No, I immediately just go right over to the barn.
For sure. And they do suit you up. You see mostly orcish workers here mixed with a few humans, and there's a very, very buff halfling, dragonborn or two, as well as some more common lizard people. And they suit you up very well with camels.
I turn to the other two. How did we want to double up here?
Well, Carla, you and Alderia are the lightest of the bunch.
You have a point?
I have 50 pounds in armor on me.
Oh my. That is quite a bit of armor. It does not matter to me. I'm perfectly happy riding solo or with a partner.
I think that probably makes the most sense if we don't want to weigh down the camels too much.
I have 45 pounds in armor on me.
I have none.
I'm not here for this conversation because I sprinted, and not in my normal like valley girl voice. I was like, camels.
Oh my god.
We get there and she's like talking to all of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tell them about
you
their
the camels.
exciting trip.
You're gonna talk to them?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. You get a lot of as you kind of speak in their tongue a little bit. You get a whole bunch of camel heads. There's a, huh? Who's there? They all kind of kind of turn around to you, giving you like just this entourage of happy camels that are probably you're imagining on break from the sun after working today, as they probably rotate for their health. The workers set you guys up with your camels, and you make your way out. I will say it is 10 o'clock. I was hoping we'd get through at least the travel tonight, but it might take some time if you guys encounter anything. So I want to ask you guys before we keep going, because I don't want to push anybody, but I wanted to end at the really exciting part where you get to go into the cool dungeon or perhaps fight the hag.
I think it's a good way to kind of get back into it with a little bit of travel to kind of get us back into the characters and then dive in for the main bit.
Sure.
Personally.
So yeah, and for sure we got work and stuff in the morning too for people. So I don't want to force anybody to play if they need to go to bed soon. So
Yeah,
what I will say is it is now for this journey. It will probably cut the travel from 7 days to 4 days.
Cool.
With the camels. So I'm just going to do some clerical work before next time, and we'll call that a session, just to make sure that we get stuff done.
That sounds good. And then we have extra food to stay a little longer at the labyrinth if we need.
Yep.
So, yeah, probably about 4 days travel with the camels, cutting off 3 days. Pretty big blessing, you're guessing, with the scorching hot sun the scorching hot sand under your feet. For anybody that wants to do any kind of checks while you're out on the way, as far as toolkits, just kind of the generic, like, we don't need to role play through this stuff. If you'd like to take care of that now, I encourage you to do so. You have 4 days worth of checks that you can make.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to be studying and learning how to do, get more and more proficient with the locks.
For sure. So go ahead and give me consecutively 4 lockpicks tool checks. I'll say that's dexterity without proficiency.
Without proficiency, yeah.
Yeah, as you're trying to do that.
Wow, okay.
1 sec, just as I make up the graph for you. And the same rules apply for this.
Bad.
You have to success a certain number of times, shifting DCs depending on success. Snickers.
Does someone hear the hag's cat?
It's Aunt Aggie's cat.
Just
Snickers.
want you here.
Okay,
You guys never talked to her. I was kind of bummed.
we just kind of stomped.
Yeah, that's all right. Happens. All right, so Kyler, if you'd like to make those, would you like to try any of your alchemy toolkits while we're going on the days? here, Aldaria, as well?
Yes.
So
I've got
Kyler,
I've
first
got my
check.
4. First one was 21.
Second,
Second one was 14.
third.
8.
You imagine that your next roll will. That's only 3 so far, right?
Yeah, I have one more rolled.
What's the next one?
It was an 18.
18. You gain half proficiency in your lockpicks with that.
Hey.
Let me just go ahead and take note. So whenever you make a check, you can consider yourself half proficient. That is rounded down. And then you can attempt to try and acquire some intermediate or expert level locks and books to try and help you work through the very complicated things to become a proficient user.
Right, definitely.
And I will note too, just since we're discovering this kind of element to the D&D campaign, if you ever want to try and acquire expertise in something, you guys are welcome to. Just consider how strong that is when you're doing it. It could be a frustrating wall to run into. It's going to be tough. I mean, tough. So, but cool if you do it. So, perhaps worth a shot. Aldaria, if you'd like to make me 4 alchemy checks using your intelligence.
So I got a 16.
16, okay, for your first day.
Yep. 17.
Second day. With that, you are half proficient as well.
Then I got a natural 1.
It's actually really fortunate timing. Your third day will say you were trying to become fully proficient and you just failed, so you can start from scratch.
And then I got an 18.
Okay. Are you trying with that extra day to become proficient and fully
I'm gonna
proficient?
work towards that full proficiency.
So
Well, I
let me
got a
go ahead.
17. I rolled a 17, so that would be at that point.
Okay.
I don't know. 19, right? I get
I
plus
don't-
1.
Yeah, you're close. So you rolled 17 plus what?
17. My intelligence is 1.
Okay, so 8.
And then do I get plus 1 because I'm half proficient now?
Yes.
No, I get, yeah, okay. I have no idea.
Yeah, because you have a 2 proficiency, so you're half proficient. So you'd have
Okay.
plus 1 from proficient to your half proficiency plus whatever modifier, which is intelligence in this case. Snickers is just sitting in
And
front of
that's going to be in alchemy? I'm doing this at?
Yeah. For the purpose of half proficiency, I don't really think you can add it to D&D Beyond, so you might want to just take a note until you become
You
fully
can,
proficient.
actually. You can
Oh, you
create a custom skill that
Yeah.
you can denote how proficient you are.
Very good. Yeah, if you want to work on that, I will say you succeeded your first full proficiency check. With the 19, I believe it was overall. 17 would have just succeeded, so you're good there. Let me just take note of that. So that's 1 there with that extra day you spent your extra
And
time.
that's going to be intelligence.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like I was saying with Kyler's rolling too, since he has half proficiency, if you want to, you can keep going this route, but it's going to be really tough because you don't have any bonus books. You have the very beginner's manual that you bought from
Right.
Udatoth.
So if I get more.
Potential to fail is there. Might be worth investing in some more resources. Or perhaps if you encounter anyone that might be able to help you out in that regard, they can give you tips. Those kinds of things. Is there any other pre next game rolls we can do that will make travel go a little faster for you guys that you guys were thinking of?
I have one that I wanted to do.
Yes.
I was going to turn this into a roleplay thing, but since we're just going fast, instead I'll
If you
say
want,
that
if you want to, we can. We have a few minutes. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't get into like that 11 o'clock territory.
That's fine. I saw Erzon or Kyla cast the Shadow Blade spell
Mhm.
when we were fighting Reshma, and Erzon thought that was really fucking cool. So he's going to try to conjure a blade of his own during his free time.
Okay,
Would
so
you
you'd like to
do
try
that
it.
out in like the open? Because Kylar would be willing to help.
Right now it's secret, like at night.
Right. But if you approached him, he would be
Okay.
willing to help.
So I am gonna rule this as a spell creation attempt, or are you trying to learn the exact spell?
He's trying to like do it for himself, so not the exact spell.
So you would like to start practicing your holy magic to try and develop a spell.
Channeling the divine soul within me to do the spell, yeah.
Yeah, it's still a creation spell.
Yeah.
It's pretty intensive process, but you are certainly welcome to try. So let me just take some specific notes. Attempting to conjure own weapon via holy magic. So for the purposes of this Tad, this is just Jesse to Tad here, real talk. I would say what I want you to do is propose to me, in out of game stuff. Go ahead and you'll have to propose to me what you want the spell to do, and then I'll balance it for you.
Okay.
Upon success, you would gain that spell.
Sure.
So, and of course, it's not something where it's like this is what it does. You know, if I send it back to you, you're like, oh, I was thinking more like this. That's fine, but
yeah,
we'll get to those details in DM, of course. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. With that, I will say go ahead and roll me. Let me just make sure that there's something cool that I can do with this. Just want to make sure that I get the right skill check for this. Just because it's going to be... Oh my gosh, this website sucks. 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure I look at all the skills before I call for a roll.
Yeah. If you want my preference, I feel like it should be Arcana, but I'd prefer to roll Religion since I'm proficient in that.
I will say for spell creation, they both use intelligence anyways, and it is a holy magic, so I will give you either... Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. I'll let you roll... a religion check. Do it.
Okay, just
Sorry,
1 or 4.
I was trying to think of like, should I make him get tools, and should I mix and match like charisma for wisdom for intelligence? But we'll say just a straight religion check is fair.
Okay, 1 or 4.
Occam's razor. Udatoth's razor.
1 or 4.
Huh?
1 or 4 checks.
4. Yeah, 4. Sorry, 1 per day.
The first one was a 7.
Okay, noted.
Second one was a non-natural 20.
Okay.
The third one was also a non-natural 20.
And the fourth?
And the fourth one is an 18.
18, okay. You are gathering that you've made decent headway over the course of your 4-day travel. This is going to be a bigger undertaking than simply trying to get half proficient in something, but you are feeling like you can channel your magic in a way. So
cool.
That feels like you are conjuring a weapon of sorts. So we can talk details about that spell that you're inevitably trying to create in the long run.
Yep.
DMs. Cool, I appreciate that. Nova, is there anything you'd like to do passively, kind of, as the days go by?
No, man, I'm just kind of like, I'm into my book, helping us navigate. That's about it.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check as you navigate through your book. You're talking the black leather bound, yeah?
That's it.
Okay.
I guess I should note, I would be reading mine as well, just when I have spare time.
Your book to...
Yeah, the one I got from Reshma.
Oh,
I kind of alternate between the two when I'm not trying to learn lockpicking.
8 on your investigation?
Yeah.
I will say... Yeah, it's a little on the low side. One time, you catch a very interesting glimpse. Do you want me to keep it to yourself, or would you rather... Or would you care to tell everybody what you see?
I believe that should be between us.
Okay, I will inform you what you see. It is you do catch one particular sight though. I'll text it to you right after we play.
Okay.
And for you, you're studying your lightly pink bound book. You gather not a ton. You do see the spells within. And you remember the nature of your contract. You're wondering how exactly you're going to pay that off. It's curious to you, but nothing is revealing itself yet, so perhaps in time.
Indeed.
Okay, but with that, I think that resolves everything. There will perhaps be encounters on the way to the land, labyrinth, place, thing. And other than that, I think we can call this session a wrap.